Hello, stream. Welcome, friends. I'm sure there's at least one person here to listen to this message, and that's all we really need here. And what a wonderful Sunday evening it is to talk about some PvP. You know, I mean, who doesn't love PvP, guys? You know, we all do. You know, as we know, it's the most popular game mode in Guild Wars 2. It's something that sees a lot of attention, a lot of development time. Oh, well, actually, maybe not so much, but we have some wow. I mean, look at the TeaTime cast we have here, guys, to discuss these issues. I mean, this is just ridiculous. We have, you know, one of the best players in the entire game, and then you've got Sindrener and Boyce here as well. So I mean, I mean, wow, true. What a cast here! What a cast! Wow. You know.
Holy shit!
But yeah,
we just did that.
Yes, welcome to the show, everyone. We have Jawgeous, Sindrener, and Boyce. Okay. New addition to TeaTime here as well. He just got finished dying to the Skyhammer in a 1v1, has now just moved on.
Whoa. That never happened.
Wait, did I miss that?
There's no proof.
The VOD's already gone? Okay, all right. No clips?
No, it's still there.
I see.
Yeah, I'm not a mess, my man.
But you know, the new season approaches soon. We're currently in a little bit of downtime right now, and we're going to be moving into the next section of PvP. And you know, one thing that's quite a contentious issue. Like, I had a bit of an argument, okay, on Reddit with someone about this. They got very upset with me, and that's actually about solo duo queue. And you know what's interesting? I happen to know that Sind. You don't like duo queue, do you? You on only solo queue?
I actually like duo queue.
Oh wait, what? What? But you said you wanted only solo queue.
No. It was like when we had duo queue, everyone wanted solo queue, and now when we had solo queue, everyone wanted duo queue back. No, but it's like when you play solo, it used to be good, right? Back in the day, it was very balanced. A lot of people played back then, so we had pretty good games. But now, since the population is so low, it's hard to get 4 decent players on your team, so the quality kind of goes down. So it's like you play with 4 gold tier players if you're in legend, and then it's basically becomes impossible to carry. So you want duo queue in order to actually get decent games.
Okay,
that's at least what I feel like.
Yeah. But in an ideal world, you'd like to have solo queue, though, or solo queue only. But as it stands right now,
that was the best time. Like in vanilla Guild Wars, we had the best ranked queue, solo queue, with the old leaderboards and everything. Then it was old Skyhammer, old Spirit Watch.
Nice. So you would say then that you know duo queue should basically stay around then? Like you don't think it should, or you know, should they try out solo queue or what? Like,
I mean, they already tried solo queue, and it was kind of it wasn't really enjoyable. So yeah. I want to do a queue back.
Yeah, I would very much tend to agree with that. I don't, you know, solo queue is I can't even imagine how painful that would be actually.
With this type of game, when the population is so low, like the fact you can't play with your friends and you're forced to solo queue is like pretty much it's just soul crushing to play.
Friends, happy hands.
Yeah. Do you have any friends, Joe?
Romano.
Sindrener sometimes feels sorry for me and duos with me, but
yeah,
kind of it, I suppose.
But yeah, I mean that's a good place to go actually, because you know I think most of us, myself, Sind and Boyce, like duo queue a lot, but you mostly solo queue, don't you, Joe? That would be accurate.
I do, yeah.
In saying that. How would you rate your experience in the solo queue?
I don't know if there's actually any fact in this, but I noticed that I have more consistency in terms of like the rating average that I get in solo queue when I solo queue. So as soon as I go duo, it seems like the rating, the system seems to think that I've got like way too much rating or something on my team, so it starts giving me plebs. Whereas if I get like solo queue, then I have a chance of getting like everybody that I want on my team. You know, like it's either take a chance and maybe get some good players, or duo queue, have 1 good player and potentially 3 people that have just been released from a mental hospital. So, you know, I normally just go with solo queue.
I think if you're below plat 3, I think solo queue is more forgiving, right? But then when you reach legend and constantly queuing, because like the gap between legend to like the other skill levels are so big, you're kind of like screwed playing high legend by yourself. Especially like if you're playing at an off time, like an off prime time, and you're solo queuing at high legends, you're bound to have 4 like plat 1 to gold 3 players in your team, gold 3 to plat 1 players in your team, and then from there it's unwinnable because the enemy team gonna have like plat and plat and above, right? Just so they calibrate it so it's even, and it's just like you're screwed. You're fucked.
Yeah.
It's unwinnable.
Well, it's true. I mean, the only reason why back in the day we to be able to carry, like, we had 90% win ratio as duo queue. It was me and Misha, and that was basically because Mesmer Thief was just so good in ranked due to rotation power and speed, portal, But that was the only possibility to ever reach that kind of win ratio. It's impossible to do now, and that's why you really do need duo queue as well. Yeah. Like if you can even have 70-80% win ratio as duo queue, it's like imagine solo queue.
Well, yeah, and especially seeing as like even if you're solo queue and even if you still have a fairly decent win rate, you're still going to end up horrifically punished. Like as you start to approach legend, you start to end up gaining like +6, +7, and when you lose, -15, and that's that's obviously really difficult to maintain a solo. But the core of this issue is of course down to the population, as you say, Sind, right? Yeah. And I suppose the popularity of the game mode as a whole, right? And also the attitude of the community. The community's attitude is perhaps not particularly competitive compared to how much they it needs to be to actually have quote unquote good games, particularly at the high level. So the question I have for all of you, I'd love to have some input from all you three guys here. Is it savable? Is it salvageable?
No. just no. The reason being though is because I don't think ArenaNet will actually put that much time. Like, okay, the only thing I could see bring like some form of competitive scene back is the Swift tourneys, right? But even then, it's not real money. And most people who played competitive before played for money, right? And now since all the money is out of the game, no one really wants to play to win or play just in general because there's no real value from it.
I mean, if we look at the AT scene, I think it's actually pretty good right now.
The ATs are fine. But...
Yeah, but ranked queue, I don't know. I don't know if money would have any difference with increasing the ranked, if that's what you were talking about, Teapot.
Well, I mean, it was kind of a both. It was kind of a both of those, PvP modes, of course, right? I would say particularly, the target would be to be like the low mid end, right, as opposed to like the high end. I mean, the high end. I mean, yeah, like financial incentives may be necessary for some players, but I think that I tend to agree with Cinder actually that the EU, at least the EU scene for monthly AT in particular, seems fairly decent actually. You have you have a few very solid teams, right, that could easily win, right? That are competing for the top spot right now.
There's like 3 or 4 right now.
I think the reason why it's very like close between some teams right now is because of the meta, because it's not complex at all, like in terms of thinking or rotations or mechanics. It's very dumbed down. So
just
that's why.
Rev.
Yeah, but it's dumbed down a lot. Like it's not comparable to like end of HOT or Guild Wars 2, like the beginning. It's just. You can't compare.
Before it was all about rotations, wasn't it? And now it's
very smart rotations. Yeah, exactly. You had to play well, like proper rotations, and you could do surprise bursts from stealth. MOAs could turn the game. Portals could turn the game. Like you have removed all complexity, basically.
Now you just play double rev and train one person down.
It's just you don't even think about what you're pressing. Just spam out
one. Yeah,
exactly.
That's also why I think that it won't come back, because like people don't want to put in the effort to actually learn the game, or they don't even have to really learn the game to the same degree that they used to. So it's just like a big meme fiesta now with just high burst damage. There's not going to be any ESL. Like there's no complexity to enable one. There's no money to enable one.
No population.
Just play for like, I mean but the population could grow. But then again, there's effort involved in actually becoming good enough at PvP to even compete with the people that have been playing for like 6 years or whatever. So
it's also way too much screen clutter, like stuff they add in expansions. It's just not power creep.
For
it's
a new
also
player,
it's visuals as well. It's just spammy everywhere. You don't understand what's going on. If you come to Guild Wars and look at the PvP stream, you're like, what the fuck is this? It's so much like, you just look at World vs. World as well. Compare it to how vanilla Guild Wars was.
That's I think the balance of the game and kind of the way the game plays out is certainly a part of one of the hindrances to new players in particular coming into the game. I think the insane amount of burst damage, right, and also the flashy and massive explosive effects with a lot of spam is a really big problem for new players. Now, the question then is what can ArenaNet really do here? Like when we see ArenaNet balance, we typically see fairly small changes, right? And what I have kind of said that is necessary is that there needs to be like a massive balance overhaul all at the same time in a way, right?
Yeah.
I think that picking at the problem and making very small adjustments is not enough, right? To actually see, elicit meaningful change. Sufficient to actually kind of reinvigorate the PvP scene, right? I think we really need to see big class design changes as well. And of course, that is where things get really difficult with elite specializations, in my opinion, because something like Scourge is, in my opinion, it's inherently problematic, right? Like the way the class plays out is inherently bad, right? It's just it's going to be difficult to make that fun to play against, right? And I think the same is true for something like Mirage as well, right? Like Mirage is probably never going to be that much fun to play into, and to a lesser extent, this applies to a lot of classes as well. A lot of classes are very, very spammy, right? And you could say something like Hollowsmith is I consider Hollowsmith to be quite a fair class, but it's also quite a spammy class, right? It just keeps attacking you. It's just constant damage output, right? I think you could perhaps even make the argument for something like something like SD Thief, right? As well as it has a huge amount of evade potential, right? It's pretty spammy. It's perhaps not as intricate as some of the older versions of Thief, and I think just in general, like every class kind of plays out that way in general. So it all needs to happen at the same time, because if they say target one class per balance patch, for a start, we're going to be waiting for a few years before they're done. But also, if you just nerf down one class, it's going to seem so bad compared to all the other stuff, which is still really, really spammy and really, really disgusting, right? So
they're also going the wrong way with the changes as well. Like look at Scrapper. When they revamped Scrapper, they went the completely wrong direction. They buffed it instead of tuning down classes, and then they defensive creeped it to hell, and they had to spend 2-3 patches to tune it down again. Like just tune everything down first, and then you can start buffing.
That's what I think. Like they need to. It needs to be a big, like you say, a big overhaul that has to attack all the power creep, all the defensive creep, and all the healing creep simultaneously, and bring everything down. Like remove maybe some boons from certain elements, remove some healing from certain elements, and just like make it so that your heal actually matters, and so that you're not able to just like spam everything, get every boon you need, and then sustain everything. Like you should be punished for using abilities where you shouldn't have. You should be punished for moving somewhere that you shouldn't have. The game is far too forgiving at the moment with everything just enabling you. And that's the way it's been since POF, because the power creep that came with POF. Like nothing really like fucks you over at all anymore. You can just make mistake after mistake and still be fine.
I'm not sure if I'd entirely agree with that. I think that's also one of the other problems with the current balance. I think one mistake can utterly end you, and I think even in low level, right? Like if you don't see the rock from the rampage and it hits you, goodbye.
If you're a scrapper and you're just like, I'm gonna sit on this node and not move because that's what I think I have to do, right? And you just spam bulwark gyro, your fucking stability dome, and you just sit there and you heal through it with 11k from medic gyro. You're pulsing fucking heals through super speed. You eat the entirety of the rampage, your protection uptime, and your F1. You're fine. Like no mistake. Like you don't have to dodge roll at any particular moment. Pressure hammer 4, block some damage, cool. Like you are just infinitely sustaining. So you'll see scrappers in like golds who are just living not based on like skill, and they are making mistake after mistake actively in terms of their movements and their ability usage, but they're still alive. They're still being able to carry their games. Like that's what I see as a mistake. It's like you're not doing something with a strategic intent. You're not doing something because you're reacting to a visual. The skills are enabling you to make these mistakes and not get punished. You see what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, I think Scrapper is certainly a good example of that, right? I agree with that.
Soul Beast used to be it as well.
Yeah, Soul Beast was the same. That was so easy to play.
Yeah. Well, I think it's okay to have some builds that are easier to play though, for newer players. But if it just kind of if the build is carrying you, then obviously that's not quite right, is it? But I think we're certainly in a bit of a balanced rut right now, as it stands right now, and hopefully we'll see more aggressive changes in the future. But I'm not. To be honest, I don't know about you guys, but I'm not actually holding out too much hope for.
No chance.
Some anything particularly big, unfortunately.
The closest thing we'll get is Swiss for ATs, but that's not even going to bring best of 3 or best of 5. I heard for the finals. But then
it's best of 1
that was the only thing people wanted. That's
is that the case? It's not going to be best of 3 for the
apparently
finals?
not the first version of Swiss. That's the reason why we wanted Swiss in the first place, because finals could be such, or semi, or yeah.
At the moment, people just want good games, right? They don't want to play an AT and then know they're going to lose instantly due to the map. And that's the worst possible scenario. You just pray and you have a good map. When you rather just have the choice to pick and ban a map when you obviously can't, because it's not a thing.
I was this monthly AT as well. I was dreading to get Legacy, and I was okay, if we get Legacy, we might actually lose. Every other map, I was I'm 100% sure we win. Then we get Legacy, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck did we do? But yeah, turned out good anyways.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised to hear that, Joe. I thought that they were actually bundling that together. Yeah, that is quite unfortunate, actually. Oof, yeah,
I'd heard that as a rumor, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
No, I think I'm pretty sure Ben was on my stream saying that the first version of Swiss won't come out with best of 3. I'm not entirely sure now, but that's what I heard.
If they were going to release it, I would just say hold it off. Make sure that you get the best of 3 in the final before you release Swiss. If that means it needs to be delayed another, I don't know, month or something, then hold off on that month and just make sure it's in there, because what's the point? Right?
I mean, whatever. I'd rather take something instead of nothing.
Yeah, same. It's just the same thing over and over again. I don't want to keep playing monthly ATs or gizmos. Although it's fun to play, right? But after a while, it's been out for a year, and now it's going to be almost 2 years now of the same rewards, and it's just not really it's not really a good motive to play. And that's why most people have stopped playing. Oh yeah, I guess
so. Gizmos yet.
But I mean, yeah, it's just people just want new content after a while.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, for people that have already done it, sure, it makes sense that you want more refreshing content. But for other people, there's still incentive, the people that don't have that stuff. But there's nothing for you.
Yeah. Hey, well, I mean, just to go direct to that, then does it just need to be new gizmos, new titles, or does it need to be a new kind of reward? Do you want a new kind of reward, or just more?
I think a new reward would be a good motive to actually play more, because I think they should obviously keep the gizmos, right? So people can play that tourney for a chance to win the gizmo, but it should be something else for people who already won gizmos or want a different reward in PvP. Because the only real point of playing PvP right now is to win a gizmo. And I don't think that's really enough to keep people wanting to play constantly. I mean, I guess obviously it's still a good reward, right? But I know most people don't play a lot to win it. They just play an AT to get QP, and then they just play an AT now and then that's it. When if it was a big reward, people would want to play ranks and stuff, right, to get practice and actually win and get the.
What is a big reward to you?
But I've said that too, before, but I don't think they're ever going to implement it. But you could easily create incentive in MATs, new specific exclusive mount skins, armor skins. I was thinking the glorious new Mistforged Glorious would be only for monthly AT, but then the legendary armor, or whatever. You could there's many things you could do.
To everyone.
Finishers as well, unique finishers. You could have auras. There's many things. Capes.
I think Ben talked about that before, though. He said that they couldn't warrant the time investment.
I know.
A small percentage of the player base. So
you could maybe push for a back piece or something like that. There are some fairly simplistic back pieces, right? That can just be some orbs floating around. Sometimes you can maybe have something like that.
Even weapon skins, right? Some crazy weapon skins, which would be very
I mean, they are coming out with skins now again, but I don't think it's PvP/World as well, but it's not exclusive for MATs. You can obtain them as normal.
When was the last time we got a new finisher?
I don't know.
It's been years.
That's a very good incentive as well. I have my old WTS World Tournament Series finisher for second place, and it's super cool. They created for rank 1, from 1, 2, 3. So that's something they should definitely do. But I heard
Can
that
you still
it's
get
also
that? Like,
no, you can't. You didn't even get
does
it
it drop
from
like the guaranteed wardrobe thing or whatever?
No. These are exclusive. It's not the WTS finishers. Like you can get the American and like there's those who participated in WTS has them, but you can no one else can get them. You didn't even get them in Pro League.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. And finishes have been there for not happened for a long time, and I hate to agree. I hate to agree here, but unfortunately, that probably isn't going to happen. I think ArenaNet has fully moved away from anything like that. Really, all the rewards are going to be accessible to pretty much everyone, right? I mean, they're literally everyone. They're almost certainly effectively just be a bit grindy. Is that unfortunate? Yes. But a lot of this comes down to how can ArenaNet justify doing this in a way? And unfortunately, I mean, if you look at everything that isn't the casual content in the game, this is already predicted. This is predicted in Boyce's chat. We're complaining about how casual the game is now. And ArenaNet won't do anything that's inaccessible because that's just not part of their philosophy anymore, right? Like, this isn't World of Warcraft where they make a mount that's only available in Mythic, right? Or for whatever reason, right? Like this, unfortunately, it's not going to happen with their current paradigm. However, I want to bring the PMA here, okay? Do you guys think there's any way we could actually justify it to ArenaNet? Because I think you maybe could though, right? Because
the biggest justification is the streams. Just look at how much people we actually drag every month for the monthlies. Like it's actually like the biggest streams during that time. Like look at how much hype we get every time we Jaw draws viewers, me, Rom. Like what we spike.
Imagine if they did an official thing.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if they casted or something like on Guild Wars 2. Like, imagine if they streamed monthly AT with like Ben casting it or something. Like, imagine
that would be great.
Crazy.
They could fly me out there. I'd do that.
Yeah.
I'd do it.
Put out on Twitter like, look, we're streaming the monthly AT. Come on, look. Yeah, it's.
But do they? No. Do they have any plans to do that? Probably not. Like, is there any? Do we get like guided to? Do they guide us to any Twitch streams? They let us know about anything that's going on in the community, any events? No, it's just like they don't help us at all as content creators. Really, like they could enable us a lot more and enable themselves a lot more.
It is unusual, and to be frank, I can't speak for ArenaNet here, but I fear that they're a little afraid of going anywhere near anything that could be considered overly competitive or have any potential for toxicity, right? Ultimately, PvP is a competitive game mode, and I don't think ArenaNet want to actually give off the impression of their game really being about that. Right, look at their marketing material. They talk about like finding your home in one of the race's cities, right? Or choosing the best look for your character, right? Like this, I'm not even making that up, guys, right? I wish I was, okay? And does high level competitive PvP fit in with that? Maybe not. But I don't know. I really wish ArenaNet would go a little bit more on stuff like this because I think it has a hell of a lot of potential. People really want to see it, and you're absolutely right, Joe. They could do a lot more to actually promote and push their game mode. What I would say for how I would justify the investing more time and putting some rewards, maybe more exclusive rewards for PvP, is that I don't know. I think if you don't have that, it kind of compromises the integrity of the game mode. Like PvP is. Ultimately, it comes down, you got to be better than the other guy, right? That's what it is. That's the whole point. And I think that they've taken the soul of what a competitive game mode is supposed to be, and they've kind of left PvP as this like weird husk in a way. It isn't. People don't play it competitively, right? Like they don't play it competitively in ranked. It's a goddamn clown fiesta. There are not that many people who actually play to win. Like the vast majority of people who play PvP just do it to get pips, right? They want to get their reward pips.
The legendary backpack and stuff.
Yeah, the backpack. Yeah, the backpack exactly.
It's just a grind. Like they don't care about winning or losing.
Yeah, that is what it is. So you'll
get rewarded for losing.
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more people joining as well, by the way, because of the vision and Skyscale. The best, like one of the most efficient ways is just to finish the reward track. So there'll be a lot of people unlocking the reward track and just coming to ranked and just queuing in so they can get that. So it's kind of incentivized, but at the same time, people aren't going to be trying to win. They're not going to be trying to get better. They're just going to be ruining our queues. So
They're
it's
just
gonna
playing
become
because they
even
have
more.
to play. They're not playing because they want to.
Yeah.
Even more clown fiesta. It's going to be great.
And this is the question that we, as the community members, have to ask. So, like, how can you inspire the community to want to play competitive, or how do you draw competitive players to Guild Wars?
I don't think there is a way, honestly. Like when people get this game, they like most people who play this game play it casually, right? I don't really think they want to invest their time into getting good at a game when they can just like, have fun doing their own normal thing, right? Like I'm pretty sure most people just enjoy playing casually. The mass population, because this is what this game is like catered to, just casual players. I don't really think most people would like want to improve their own skill level in PvP. They just want everything handed to them, so they just like chill and just PvE. I don't really think they will try to get good.
That is perhaps true, but well, in that case, do you think ArenaNet could perhaps attract a more competitive player base if they changed up their marketing a little bit and perhaps went a little bit more on PvP and gave it a little bit more of a revamp?
They'd
and
have
had
to change their whole business outlook. They'd have to change because obviously, like you said just now, their entire focus is like enabling casuals, and like they try to put their company methodology back into their game. So like, that they are equal opportunities. They have like, it doesn't matter what sex or race or whatever. They try
Play
to
what you
enable
want.
everybody.
Everything is good. Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're pushing their like company motive into their game as well. And they're saying like, it doesn't matter what you want to do. We are here for you. You can be here without like, any confrontation or, judgment. And the thing is, they're not going to enable any form of elitism, like you say. They're not going to enable this competitive environment without some form of backlash, which will result in, people not liking their company, the people that have come to their company thinking, oh, I mean, I don't want to sound like I'm really against it, but it's this idealistic game, and I don't think that actually fits into any market. It's not a niche. It's not spectacular at competitive. It's not spectacular at casual. It's kind of like this middleman where it's being torn by two different types of communities, right? We want elitist stuff. We want good stuff. We want competitive stuff. We want to work towards things and like have good things in PvP. And then there's people that just want that handed to them without any effort whatsoever. People yesterday complaining about the new legendary vision. Those like weapons. You've been able to get those weapons since 2017, right? The astral weapons and shit, right? And like, I mean, not to name any names, but there's somebody there complaining that they can't get it in good time because Vision's now been released and you require those weapons. It's like,
you like that Twitter drama, Joe? You like that?
Yeah. That was last night.
You like that shit? Yeah.
But, like, that whole scenario is ridiculous to me because you had so much time to do it, right? Like, again, like it's casual versus I want it right fucking now. Like, I don't want to work for it. I want it now. And I don't think that Guild Wars 2 can even pick. It's like they try to do the best of both, and they don't appeal to both communities simultaneously, and then they end up in this like shitstorm where they don't know what their company direction is, and they disappoint people because they don't actually say, "Now this is us. This is what we do now," because they're still putting their fingers in all the pies. They need to just like pick one pie and fuck that pie. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I'm actually not so sure if that's true. I am maybe I'm a massive optimist, but I genuinely believe that ArenaNet could actually handle both of these communities. And for PvP, this is something that I think could definitely work. And I see Sind having a bit of a discussion in the chat about this, so let's bring you in on this for sure. Now, how do you feel about some tiered rewards, right? Because as it stands right now, you either have all or nothing, right? So the only truly exclusive reward in the entire game, in my opinion, by the way, is the gizmo. Right, is the monthly 8 gizmo.
I mean, you do get the vouchers for top 3, so you do get skins. So
you don't really get anything. That's not really that special, though.
The gizmo, but if you make it obtainable for others, then you basically kill the game on 2.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that you need a different kind of exclusive reward midway. Say, for example, you get some kind of exclusive hat or something like that.
Could be titles like they have for. Could be titles like they have in rank Q, where you have rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. Top 5 or is it top 10?
But I think players want something a little bit more than a title, right? Yeah, I think
finishers is a good way too, like 1, 2, 3.
Oh yeah, I mean, suppose we live in an imaginary world where ArenaNet they don't take half a year to make an armor set, right? Like, say if there was an armor set for finishing in each rank division, right? So say if you finish in Legend, there is a Legend armor set to obtain. right? And the same for platinum, the same for gold, same for silver, same for bronze, right? Okay, something like that.
I was just going to say that.
And something I would like to see for daily ATs in particular is that players effectively see them as a gold farm as it stands right now. Rightly so. They're actually a really good way to just kind of AFK some gold as well. How about adding a special reward for coming in first there? Because right now you get some QPs, right? And you know, that's fine, I guess. But why not say get 1 or 2 of the monthly AT tokens for coming first or second, for example, right? Something like that. Or maybe there's like a different kind of, not a gizmo perhaps, but another unique reward that is only obtainable through doing well in these ATs or something like that instead.
Like a currency that you can buy a particular skin with or something.
Yeah,
I think
like
tournament
finisher
vouchers would be good for daily ATs.
Yeah.
Because you can't buy gizmos with them, but you can buy armors and weapons, which is good for people who will obviously need armor for like World World and PvE, for example. And then you can just like obviously the armor skins as well are pretty nice, right? So you can also have a chance of getting those skins much easier than farming a bunch of ranked games for it.
In terms of like PvP ascended gear accessibility, there's like the Ardent Glorious and the Mistforged Glorious.
Could do
right?
gems as well. Like then you can buy something on the
gems
gems
are good,
store.
That would be good actually.
Nah, they wouldn't do that. They wouldn't put their currency into ATs.
I know, but that's something at least easier than creating.
It's kind of the same as gold, though. It's no different to winning gold as
Well,
such.
no, but at the moment they're putting out 25 gold. Like, what does that even equate to in gems? Like 50? Like 60 gems? 70 gems? Like,
yeah.
And the first and second place as well, the reward isn't really that different. Like it's only 5 gold difference, right? And like 2 other mystic coins. So you don't really get like a big reward for being first in a daily AT. So like it doesn't really matter. I guess the only thing that matters is, like you said, QP, right? For coming first place. There's no really real reward from getting first place for daily ATs when there should be something better.
Yeah.
To make it so you want to win.
Yeah.
The only thing I think ArenaNet should do is, first of all, get on-demand ATs so anyone can basically queue up 5v5 whenever they want to. Because I see a lot of people write about 5v5 queue and stuff. Like if it would just kill the ranked queue entirely if we would create another queue for 5v5. That's just stupid. We should use ATs that we have a platform for. On-demand ATs, have ArenaNet stream it and promote it. That's the best way to get population. And then you can start looking at maybe rewards or something. Like build a community first. Like I feel like we have nothing right now. And 2v2, and as Norris said, bring back 2v2. So I like the idea of having ATs of 2v2.
So
yeah, like you can have
new
it on
content.
you don't have to necessarily create a ranked queue for 2v2 because that they are afraid of splitting the community as well. But at least put it into ATs. Like I don't see any problem. Or and also
they could do like an event.
Yeah, no, but I don't really like just having an event every like twice a year. That's stupid. Like
not that infrequently though. Like once a week or something, and then like slowly introduce people to the
I don't
game
see any
so
problem of having it. I don't see any problem having it in an AT schedule of 2v2, like once a day.
Oh, if it's like once a day in like an AT, then fair enough. I think that would be
that
doable,
might actually lure some Wolvers Wall player into 2v2 to improve their synergy, and maybe they start queuing ranked. But ArenaNet definitely needs to show, like, have every monthly AT like stream it on, like maybe you stream it since you're a content creator for ArenaNet, like stream it on their channel, promote it. Like those are the things we need, and on demand ATs like that would also be really good.
Do you know how hard it would be for me to stream on their fucking page? I got hosted by Guild Wars 2 like on Friday, and I was unhosted 2 minutes later because everybody was in my stream spamming Wooden Potato's penis and look at all those beautiful cocks.
But remove them then.
I'd have to turn off my sound effect. I'd have to stop swearing. I'd have to it's kind of awkward.
You're not PC enough, Joe. Come on, man.
I'm not. I'm absolutely not. I swear so much, dude. It would be literally like changing personality. I'd literally feel like ninja, like.
And you got to ban all the gacha. You got to ban all the frogs as well. Like frogs aren't allowed in the chat. I mean, you got to get rid of those.
The poor frogs.
The frogs are not allowed. Now, I think the underlying issue here, though, and this is something that whenever we talk about rewards, that sort of thing, I always do feel a little bit. I feel like we're almost like skirting around the issue here. The core problem is that people aren't competitive in Guild Wars 2, right? And that's if a player wants to win, they just want to win for the sake of winning a lot of the time, right? Of course, if it comes like money, obviously money is going to make people want to win. But I think at the core of a competitive player is just the desire to actually win, right? And it's for the sake of it in a way, right? And I think that's what we need to inspire, and that
but that's why I'm saying like promote it, like they can see how close our games can be and see how enjoyable it is to win, or like you saw how close our monthly AT game was in the finals, and like the relief of winning and the calls, and it's enjoyable to watch, right? And that should create the will or the desire to win. Like that's what ArenaNet needs to promote. Show this, like, or jaw casting when it's hyped as hell, when it's close. I don't see any other way.
Yeah, and yeah, that's why I think in a way that the ball is in ArenaNet's court. This is something that I always find myself thinking when I think about PvP. I mean, the game mode is kind of, it's already there, right? The game mode has arrived, and you have ATs, and the system works very well. I'd love to see more of them, and there are actually talks of increasing the frequency of ATs as well. Actually, just as that's a great thing, right? You have the spectate mode, you have people commentating these ATs, that sort of thing. In a way, I mean, surely it's, ArenaNet, like, show off your game mode, right? And this is what I find myself very frustrated with the company across the board. This is not actually just a PvP specific thing. This is for World versus World and raids as well. It's just like ArenaNet just don't show it, right? That's not what you hear about. If you're a gamer and you don't play Guild Wars 2, you don't think at the fact that they have a fully functioning automated tournament system with a really exclusive reward, right? And and stuff like that. You don't think about the fact that you have raids that are actually really well designed and a lot of fun to play, right? You don't think about the game that has one of the only realm versus realm systems that actually works properly in any MMO, right? You just think of it as like a casual dress up clown fiesta game. It's so weird to me that ArenaNet don't want to promote their game on things that it does extremely well. And to be honest, the actual story aspect, they always push the story and that sort of thing. It's probably what the game is least remarkable at, in my opinion anyway. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's okay, and I had fun playing through it, but, it's not... I wouldn't say that the best part about Guild Wars 2 is the story, right? Especially when compared to other products.
That's true.
And there is a question there and kind of a point for discussion here. It's, we kind of very lightly touched on it a few minutes ago, but it's just like, how do we pitch this to ArenaNet, right? Like, why should they do this? Why?
Why should they do what?
Why should they push the game modes that are not the story?
They won't.
Well, yeah, but if the biggest marketing, or I'd say at least, is Twitch, right? And like when you see PvP spiking the numbers, shouldn't that be an incentive for them to maybe show off their PvP game mode, get more people involved into it?
Like now is a really good time to do it as well. Like the meta can be dumb at some points, but the meta is very fast paced right now, and there are a lot of people watching these tourneys, so it's fun to watch. Like people enjoy watching it. Like last month, for example, obviously the map was like not favorite for us, but it was a fun game for people to watch, right? Like it was entertaining. Yeah. It was close. It was like fast-paced gameplay. Like people will enjoy watching that. And like since the viewers are higher and the gameplay is fast-paced, I'm pretty sure like now is a good time to do it. So people want to watch this. It's good content.
And I think it's even to kind of follow on over on that point there, Boyce. It's also quite easy to watch and easy to understand what's going on because of the simplified gameplay that you and Sim were talking about earlier, right? Like it is very much just beat the guys down in the team fight and then you win the game, right? And, so in a way that it's almost like reminiscent of other games, really. You can almost see this in stuff like MOBAs, right? Like a lot, it's about team fighting, right? It's about fighting with all different characters, right, and killing people. It's very straightforward to understand, I think, which is one of the complaints about PvP in the past, right? It's what you watch Guild Wars 2 PvP and you go like, what the hell is going on here, right? And certainly if you're playing Guild Wars 2 now, you might think that as a new player, but if you're watching it, you can kind of get the gist, right? Even if you have never played the game before, you can see that they've all targeted the bad man and they're all attacking him, and there you go, he died, right? And they won the fight.
I don't think as well. Oh God, sorry.
Oh yeah, no, you're good. Yeah.
Another thing as well, with the casters, like you, Jaw, Rom, for example, is now also casting. These casters, they actually explain what's going on in the game. So for any new players, they actually understand what is going on to some to some extent. So it's like it's really good for players to learn the game as well as just watching good content. That's another thing as well, where people can enjoy the content and learn the game at the same time.
I also
Because
wish
the
that they
casters are
created
just
like
very well.
spectator, so it's possible to spectate in game. Like you have a huge amount of players who don't just go to Twitch, and I know that they had it in Guild Wars 1 that you could spectate the high tier games, etc. That's something that I think they definitely should do. Like announce every time it's monthly ATs in the map chat, especially in Heart of the Mists. I know a lot of
in-game
people hate those.
announcements.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think that's doable. But
Yeah, I mean they hate. A lot of people were complaining about the but you can hide announcements in options. But yeah, that's another good thing that they should definitely do. And look at the possibility of spectating ATs or monthly ATs.
the spectator thing can't happen.
I know, but
based
like
on the way that they coded the game, they
Yes.
literally can't do it.
yeah, but it's
it's literally potato. It's so spaghetti. Like there's no way they can't do it.
yeah, but maybe have the I don't know.
They'd have to like literally remake the queues and everything.
Because of the
the maps.
because of the delay stuff, right? Like you yeah.
So it's not the delay stuff. Like I mean, they had the feature in Guild Wars 1, but the way that they coded Guild Wars 2, there's now like a finite amount of people that you can have in a single map at any given point.
Oh,
so
yes,
like that's the
yes.
spectator system. So as soon as you actually spectate a game, you're in the map, you're in the game, right? So if they did that, if they enabled that for everybody, then they'd have to completely change how the spectator system works, and that's a big project. I mean, the whole thing is a big project anyway, but it's additional. It's not as simple as it sounds, you know.
Yeah, or promoted then that in like an announcement saying it's monthly AT now. You can see it live on Guild Wars 2 Twitch TV, you know, and have you cast it there or something, or maybe someone from ArenaNet as well. Like
That'd be great
ArenaNet-
actually if ArenaNet, like,
Ben, yeah.
yeah, they on their official Twitch page they would actually.
Yeah, I
stream
mean
it.
they stream World vs. World sometimes. Why not just show that off? Show
Yeah, I mean,
what you
they
can
made
win.
the game mode,
Show
yeah.
off the gizmos. Like this is what you can win in the monthly. You can use it anywhere. It works. Enemies sees it. You know, like show off what you actually created.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a really good idea to have ArenaNet start to move towards that a little bit more, and certainly the announcement system in the game. Of course, this used to be the case with stuff like the ESL, the Pro League, right, and stuff like that. That was all announced there.
Even the weekly ESLs they promoted through the announcements.
Yeah, and of course, right, you know, in a way that the content creators are very happy to do ArenaNet's job for them, right? Like, all they need to do is just just poke all the player base, say, hey, come check out Twitch, right, and see what's going on. Look at this monthly AT. You could even do it for other stuff, like, you know, here's a new raid wing, check it out. Here's a new fractal.
Twitch drops,
right?
Twitch drops
Twitch
well.
drops, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Twitch
Have you
drops
seen it
with
yourself?
monthly. Yeah, but Twitch drops with
Oh
monthly
my God.
ATs casting. Like, imagine you would spike the numbers through, and people would be like, "Oh, look at this game. What the fuck is this?" And then
Exactly.
that's the only like.
Dude, ESO literally jumps to like fucking 30,000 views at some points because like Shroud is playing it during the drops. They've got like some PlayStation 4 fucking random person that pulls in 10,000 people like just during drops. Imagine if we got drops. Guild Wars 2 might be relevant again, you know?
Yeah.
We've been saying that since last year. Actually, I think since late 2017. It's just like, where the fuck is it? Like, please stop making some stupid shit and just make that. That'd be great. I'm not going to build on that, but yeah.
Yeah. I just think, you know, I mean, Joy, you seem very passionate about that. Is there any kind of ulterior motive you have there?
Dead game.
Dead game?
He cares for the community.
You care. Yeah, you really cares for the community.
ArenaNet creator saying
Like-
that game.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Oof.
What's that?
Partner. Idol.
Yeah, that's a nice
No, I don't know- I don't know
Corsair
what you
jacket
mean,
you
dude.
got there, dude. That's nice. That's good.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, you know, we do have a certain level of bias, right? You know, because we are right here on Twitch. Of course, we think it's a good idea to promote it. But I mean, hey, I don't think you have to take our word for it. Look at all the other games, right? Like, look at all the other games. Like, even Bless Online was doing. Everyone knew about Bless Online, like, because of Twitch, even though it was a complete clown fiesta. Guild Wars 2 could easily be relevant again. Not to kind of harp on about this, but it's just the game is actually really good. And it does stand the test of time in all of its aspects, really. And the fact that it doesn't kind of get advertised on Twitch or advertised in any meaningful way, particularly around the good aspects of the game, it's just a bit. I mean, it's a little bit silly. I think it's a bit of a waste, really. Bit of a waste. Like, make a really good combat system, and then you just press one and spam one. Yeah.
It's like, it is pretty disappointing. I mean, it's obvious that there's a lot of content creators who believe in the game. Like, I mean, I make a lot of content, you make a lot of content. Sindrener is like doing a lot of his uploads now onto YouTube as well. Like, there's a lot of like YouTube presence surrounding the game, but we don't really see anything from like ArenaNet side. We don't see any hype from them besides like their trailers. They don't cover anything in their own game. They don't have a content creator for their game. Some games will like upload features that they're enabling, and they'll do like, somebody playing the game through the feature and explaining it and all that stuff. We don't see them actually engaging in any content creation themselves, but they don't really enable the content creation that we provide either. Like, they need to make more of a presence of them, of like their game as a community to the gaming community. They need to like make us more obvious. Like I said, like exposure. I think like we're lacking that so much, and drops in general would benefit obviously content creators who have put a lot into the game in the first place. But drops, just to kind of build on the, like you were saying, that like I'm incentivized by drops, I just kind of want to make it sound like I do actually care about the game. It's not just the dollar signs. And I know you're looking at me like that, Teapot. Like, stop it, okay?
I
genuinely,
no one believes you. It's okay.
I solo queue PvP day in, day out, and I still haven't broken a keyboard, a mouse, or a monitor.
It's because when you stream any other game, you have like 20 viewers. So.
Hey, I was watching videos and just chatting, right? I had like almost 100 people watching me react. Okay, I'm gonna be the next Asmongold.
99 tabs of your own?
No!
I'm just remembering when Asmongold was reading your video description, and he read out that you were sponsored by ArenaNet.
Yeah,
that was good.
That was funny. Yeah,
that was good. Yeah, I think you got exposed there, buddy.
No, but something they could do though, like they have a YouTube, right, Guild Wars, and that one is pretty heavily, like a lot of people watch their YouTubes, right? Every time it comes a new video, it's instantly posted on Reddit. Why can't they just do a recap of like the monthly AT or something? Take a few pieces from Jaw's casting since he uploads it on YouTube and cuts it and create just take a few snippets, highlights from the games and the hype, like this is the monthly AT, show the rewards, this is the gizmos you can win. Something at least. I mean, anyone who then search MMOs 2019 and they will be like, oh, look at this. This is a PvP game mode. Oh, this looks interesting. It's so easy to make.
All they do is they show off their living story, right? That's pretty much all we ever see from them.
Or mounts or whatever they create.
Realistically, like when they do their play, they do actually do World v World, right? And it's usually the developers talking about World v World, but they don't go into PvP. They don't really discuss how PvP works, why it's important, blah, blah, blah. Their main features are like playing through living story content that they've just brought out. Like it's Ruby and a couple of other developers or something just running through and explaining. And it's like, again, I think we said this before. You said this before, Teapot. Like, no offense to anybody who works at ArenaNet and the development of that, but the production value of it is like, it's quite sort of like, how do I put this without sounding offensive? It's kind of just, it's not boring per se, but it's just really slow, and there's no passion, there's no excitement, there's no, there's no real power behind it. It's just them sitting there playing the game. And I think that if they made it a little bit more inviting and a bit more atmospheric and a little bit more like cinematic and really brought people into it, then maybe the living story would have more of an impact. But as far as I'm concerned, those streams aren't really that impactful on the community in any way, shape, or form, and it doesn't bring in a big audience either. You rarely see more than like 200, 300 people watching that, and the same goes with the World v World content. But then as soon as they're bringing out something new, like the Sky Scale, and they're showing how the Sky Scale works, well, it's a feature, and they're doing good coverage of it, and people are interested, and it's obviously something that people are passionate about in the community. So maybe they should take a note and see where the passion is in regards to content, creation, and where the community are actually like pooling in on certain things like PvP, and that's obviously getting a good audience without using their channel. You know.
Well, I will. And this is where things start to get a little bit scary, I think, because if you just look at the metrics for this and like what actually engages the players, which is probably what ArenaNet are looking for, then we're just screwed, right? Like, there's an event coming up this week. It's going to be like a boss week thing, and there was the previous World Boss Rush as well, where you have to do all the.
Oh, it's events now or something.
Yeah, events. Yeah, now it's meta events. Like previously, it was World Bosses.
So what's the meta events thing?
There's going to be like a bonus reward for doing a bunch of meta events next week.
Krakatite Ore?
No, I think it's like all the Path of Fire ones, some of the Heart of Thorns ones as well. I think stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
And well, what is kind of scary is that if you look at the previous engagement for the other one, for the world boss one with the core world bosses, that was probably the most players I have seen logged in to Guild Wars 2 for years.
Several overflows as well.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
But everyone thought that we're gonna get super expensive infusions. That was the only drive. But now that they know the drop rate is even worse or probably equal, they will not do it.
That I don't know, dude. Like that is
We'll
that's the competition, right? Like that is the competition that that PvP, World vs. World, and raids kind of have to go up against. And yeah, the event was incredibly simple, but it got people logged in and it got people playing for a very, very long time consistently. And yeah, I don't know. It's really hard to make a dent in that. Even though, when we stream monthly AT, we get a good 2,000 people watching over the entire channel,
but sure, you
right?
have a lot of people in the game, but who sees that? No new players will ever see, or like new potential players will never see the amount of players in the game. It's not incentive for anyone to come and look at Guild Wars because it's not even being shown. No one will be like, oh look, Guild Wars has a lot of players in the game doing events. But how do they show it? If if the stream is like I have to scroll probably three pages until I find Guild Wars 2. No one is gonna come look at the game. Or they're marketing about Guild Wars 2 friendship. No one is gonna give a fuck about those things. Like honestly, it's.
I said this before. I said it's like that dad that's been working all week. He's got like 3 kids and he gets an hour on a Sunday to play a game that reminds him of his childhood. Like that's Guild Wars 2. There's like they need to appeal to a different market. There is so much money for their company in a different market, and they're so scared to make that jump or to potentially offend that market that they've already got themselves. So like they're like, oh, but what if we lose this? But then if you gain like this competitive market, these people who like the grind, who like to be rewarded for their time and all this stuff, you stand to make more money. I think that there would be more people buying stuff on the gem store. There'd be more people engaging in their content in general. It would possibly revitalize the game. But I think they're genuinely just scared. It's risk. It's risk they don't necessarily have to take. So.
Yeah, if they're too scared, they'll make the game even worse than it currently is. I don't know. It's just
they are playing it safe. It's true. Yeah.
But but the thing is, the two couldn't coincide, right? So they'd have to decide. They have to say like, we're going to go down this route, or we're going to go down this route. Okay. And one of them is like, I think one of them would like increase the longevity of the game, and one is like slowly killing the game. So like Guild Wars 2 is currently, I would say, on a downward curve, even though some elements of the game do spike the population. I think that people. Like something comes out and then it goes back down. Then something comes out and then it goes back down again. You'd probably want something that's smoother, right? Like a smooth output. So I honestly feel like they'd probably even see an upward curve if they went down the rewarding route, the competitive route. But again, like you say, they're scared. So
yeah,
but surely the population cannot be increasing as it is right now. I feel like it's just going down. I mean, every 3 months it comes like a patch. People, that's when it's spikes in population, and then it's dead for 3 months again, or dead, but like less.
So you're
people
thinking
play.
about it from a PvP perspective?
No, I'm talking about living story as well. Like every time they release an episode, look at how many people actually streams the game, or actually like that's when the bulk amount of people come back into the game, right? And then they're gone after.
But it's not all Twitch figures.
No, but like I'm assuming that goes for the whole population itself as well. No.
I mean, I would say that there's a lot more people that are playing the game than are ever active watching YouTube, watching Twitch, watching anything. Like the amount of people who are so detached from things like Twitch, you probably would see that there's, I'd say almost like 95% of the player base, if not more, just do not even look at any of the content creation whatsoever, and they just log in, play the game, and log off again. Because if you ever go to Reddit and you talk about if you ever go to Reddit and talk about like content creation and you talk about like videos that exist, it's always like downvoted, or like people are like, oh, I've never even heard of this guy. And this like these people, like even Wooden Potatoes, people are like, I don't even know who that is. Like, have you even Googled Guild Wars 2? Have you just like, they're like, oh, we don't have time to watch videos. We're playing the game. We don't have time to watch guides. We're playing the game. Like, okay, fair enough. Like casual audience, like people just log in once a week, dude. Like that's what I mean.
And this is where I'm afraid I'm gonna have to play devil's advocate a lot, actually. Have you considered that, you know, maybe they don't want that? They don't want to have that target audience, and they just really don't want it at all, and they kind of want it gone.
Yeah, obviously.
Because like, basically the argument, it's actually funny. It's really interesting, like when you have this conversation, actually, because this is actually the exact same argument that happened about Sekiro, right? Because the majority of people who play Sekiro want to play it for a challenge, right? And a lot of players who don't like challenge wanted to play it for the story. And, you know, everyone was really mad, saying like, no, we will never allow that to happen. You know, you stay out of our hardcore game. Get the hell out of here, right? And you know, that kind of got that, you know, that's just how the game is.
It's this in reverse, dude.
Precisely.
It's
reverse, it's the other way around. Like, and it kind of amuses me because a lot of the elitist players in Guild Wars 2, they basically say that, oh yeah, of course, you know, of course Sekiro is right to not change their artistic vision and, you know, cater to the entire audience. But here the shoe is on the other foot, and it's like you can't really complain about it. It's difficult for these people to complain about it because they advocate for the exact same thing in reverse, you know, in a different game. And I don't know, like personally, I think that ArenaNet should kind of you know, reach out to us, help us, ArenaNet. Don't make us quit the game. But I mean, I don't know. It's a really hard sell, in my opinion. Like when their target audience isn't us, and in a way, their company policy and company philosophy is very much against anything competitive or anything related to, or that could be construed as elitism. You know, it's
the only thing that I see, like, why can't you do both? Like, at least try to do. Right now, it's just being neglected completely, as if it doesn't even exist. Right? Like, at least create something. That, though, so. Yeah, but that's crazy. Like, surely you cannot have like that little time to actually create content for the hardcore audience. Like, at least something. Right now, we have to wait like what, Swiss 2 years, 2.5.
I think in their eyes, gone.
Yeah, no, but those things are like super crazy that it can take so long for something. Like, I'm not asking for something being developed constantly, just at least something.
I think in their eyes, PvP is just optional, right? Like most of their game, obviously PvE, casual base, and then they don't really have to put effort into PvP to make their player base somewhat, you know, alive. Like they don't really need to invest into PvP to make an actual like money out of it, pretty much. They just have to focus on their casual player base, bring out an occasional patch here and there to make it so some people still play PvP, and then that's it really. Just that's all we get.
But it doesn't really have to be PvP either. It can be World vs. World as well. It also has been neglected since the beginning of times.
Oh, World v World is like, I feel so bad for World v World players. Yeah. It's genuinely like the most neglected game mode in the game.
Yeah. But they have mounts now, Joel. What do you mean?
Yeah,
it's a shit.
They
had
what they wanted.
A nice new mount. Yeah,
I used to roam. I used to like it. I thought it was cool. I could like 1v2 a couple of people. I'd feel good because I had like better PvP knowledge than them. It's always like PvP people run about. It's funny. But then as soon as they introduce these mounts, I'm like, I go in. I'm like, well, it can't be that bad. I don't have a mount at this point, so I'm just roaming around. I'm like, running around on my hollow, and I see like a couple of people, and they just run past me, literally cross over me on a mount. And I literally cannot kill them. I can't CC them off their mount. I can't do anything. And they just jump away from me in like 3 massive leaps. I'm like, right, great. Like, what do I do? Do I just like go and join this massive Zerg now? Like, well, I guess roaming is killed. And it happened to me so many times. I was like, I'm never going back. I gain nothing from this. Like, it's such a waste of my time. And I have the mount now, but still, I don't want to go back in. Until I can CC them off the mount, I don't want to go back in.
I don't think roaming is that dead from mounts. I think it's dead in general. Like I feel like mounts obviously make it so you can find other players faster, right? And if that player don't really want to fight in the first place, I mean, I guess you can just kill them, right? If they're not on mounts, but that's not really roaming.
You
it's
can't
not really
CC
fun.
them.
Yeah, but like if they want to fight, then they're gonna fight, right? Mounts or no mounts, like that's roaming. You want to find fights, and with mounts, you can find other roamers faster. I feel like mounts don't really change that.
Yeah,
And the one thing,
somebody
the
shouldn't
one
be
thing,
free to run past me like that. Like if I go to fucking knock them off with CC, they should.
Oh
be
yeah,
CC.
I can get that. Yeah, I think
You
mount.
know?
Yeah, in that aspect, mounts are pretty like strong enough that you can just literally just run away and just not
They need
worry
to be
at
like
all.
they need half health, or they need a CC bar that literally is one bit of
just
CC
make
and they're
it
knocked
less
off.
dodges. That's simple.
Yeah, it had 3 dodges,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Or was it
Just
2?
create one.
It's 3, yeah.
Like, do you actually need the dodges? Just make one. Easy.
easy. Yeah, I mean,
But the one thing that
poor
they
World
wanted
versus
in World vs. World has been GVGs, and they cannot like that has been the the beginning that they wanted, like GVGs with the leaderboard, a queue system for guilds to compete. Like, oh my god, how can it be so hard to create? Or like the guild halls was a good try, but then PV stats and everything with the
I mean,
Just go to your guild hall.
Guild hall. Oh, dude, no, no, that interaction with the customer service. Oh my god, that actually triggered me. Oh my god.
yeah, or just custom servers
man.
with World vs. World stats, Obsidian Sanctum that people can join, spectate, whatever. Like, there's so many things you could have done, but nothing.
Yeah, it is
Unlucky.
World versus
Made a
World.
leaderboard. Yeah.
World versus World is the unluckiest game mode. That's for sure. They, I mean, alliances. I mean, who even knows when that's coming? By the way, and the exact same problem is going to happen in World versus World. Like, I'll steer it back to PvP in a bit, but I have to do my weekly alliance rant. Like, if they just put alliances in the game now, it's not going to be good enough. Do you know why? Because like, well, if you guys think that PvP got shafted by Path of Fire, then holy shit, you guys have not seen World versus World. World versus World is ruined because of Firebrand and Scourge. Oh my god, it's
the
so
metas
bad.
is horrible.
It
Yeah.
is so bad. Even GVG is a complete clown fiesta. And do you know what? In the recent patch, they made it worse by buffing Scrapper. Holy shit. Oh no. Oh dear, yeah. I hear amazing things like Angels in a GVG, and he gets like one shot by a Revenant Hammer 2, even if those in full minstrel gear. It's like, oh god, so good. Oh, that's so enjoyable. Oh wow.
Sometimes I watch the old TA videos like in World vs. World, and it takes forever to actually kill a Zerg, but you can actually stay alive, and it's actually good play. You know, nothing of that anymore.
No. Oh no! Look, we're scaring away new players. This is bad. Oh, sorry.
So
go ahead, Joe.
why don't they actually like make it so that it's somewhat PvP based? So like downscale a lot of the damage into like the way that it is in PvP. Like, I mean, Spellbreaker is absolutely ridiculous in Wild v Wild. Like, you literally see a Spellbreaker running into a pack of 50 people, pumping on their Endure Pain, and then just like using Winds of Disenchantment and just
But
like
it's not
moving
as
around in
good
front
as
of
it
them.
used to be. Right? It's nerfed
No,
like
it's
two
definitely
times now,
nerfed,
2 or
yeah.
3 times. I don't know.
But it's still very, very strong in comparison to like some others that you would have thought would do the same. I don't understand why it has to be so extortionately like high in terms of just damage output and everything. I mean, you've got Soul Beast that's like doing what, like 60,000 damage on fucking Longbow 2 with Sikkim? Like, what's that about?
Auto
Why?
attacks for 13,000.
I don't
problem.
spell
Yeah,
Dude.
like what the fuck is that?
What?
Does nobody at
That's
ArenaNet think
balance.
that's like alarm bells? Like, oh shit, yeah, they're literally one-shotting people. Like, yeah, maybe we should do something about that.
But that's
No?
a lot of things. It's
been
not
in the
only
game
just
for,
it's
like, a
it's
long
not
time
just
now.
Soul Beast. It's that you still haven't nerfed, like sigils. They still exist.
Yeah.
Runes, food,
Food, yeah,
utilities.
fucking food.
Dodge food.
Yeah.
Nice.
Remove
All
those
this
things.
been happening since the release of Path of Fire, so I doubt they would change it now. Like, it's a bit late, you know. I don't think they'll ever make any like consideration to changing or
But they
balancing
have to
World
fix
v
it.
World.
World v World is on a
I
downward
mean, they
curve.
don't have to.
do
It's their
something.
game, you know. They'll just like.
Yeah, but if their game dies, their company dies.
But I don't think World v World the reason why their game dies though. 'Cause most of the money is from like, I guess PvE player base and just gem store purchases, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Pretty much entirely. Yeah. If World vs. World was deleted from Guild Wars 2 tomorrow, it would
PvP
be
and
fine.
World vs. World.
Yeah. If PvP and World
Close
vs. World,
them now.
yeah, if they got deleted, it wouldn't really make much difference. And we might actually see something similar to this. Like, I genuinely fear that the next raid wing coming up is probably the last one. I don't think there'll be another raid after this one, as it stands right now. And that's a part of the community, right? The raid scene. The raid scene is probably going to end up not existing. I mean, even less than it already exists.
So what?
Now.
Guild Wars 2 then becomes this story MMORPG single player.
Yeah,
like,
single player role player.
Yeah.
Is that literally what this fucking shit becomes? Because like that would be so sad. That would be so sad to see like a game with so much potential just become that, and that's what it is literally becoming, dude. It's just, you see it happening like every single patch, year on year. You see change, and it's just this ridiculous development. It can't be that, surely they're not going to let that happen. They have to like do something about 1v1 PvP.
Why would they not? Because it's
an MMORPG.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, if it makes money, then who cares? Like the whole point of Guild Wars 2, and as tragic as this, the entire point of Guild Wars 2 is that you play it because you don't like the other MMOs. Like that's actually their marketing. Their marketing is the other MMOs, right? Like if you're sick of having to interact with other players, come to play Guild Wars 2.
Are you sick of gear grinding or treadmill of gear?
You want easy gold, just play the game.
Don't need gold.
This is why, I mean, we had a conversation about this on stream the other day, Joe, right? In terms of like the financial aspect of it. Like financially, they're only motivated to develop the casual content because that's where the money comes from, right? And Joe's like, who am I to argue with that, right? Like, hey, dude, I get it. They got to make that cash, right? They have to. That's kind of the point in a way. But it comes down to this decision between making a good game and making the most money, right? And I think that's the frustration that we're having, right? I think we see the game going down the most financially profitable way and not the best direction with regards to the product.
Okay, so on that subject then. So as far as like the Living World episodes go, yeah? Do you think that the amount of time, effort, and development effort that goes into that is worthwhile for the amount of money they probably make off of it?
Yes.
From Living World that costs 200 gems, that is free on rollout, do you think that that's worth it? Do you think that that is the majority of their income?
If it wasn't, they wouldn't do it.
It's 4 hours of potential gameplay plus a map which probably extends it a little bit, and they can add some collections on it. So this is additional development. But the story itself, right? Do you think that that is actually something that long term would support the game? Because I don't.
The story generates logins. They make the money from the gem store, from mount skins.
Mounts are insane.
That's how they make their money.
The new mounts that they keep creating.
I'd say it's mounts. I'd say it's skins. It's like cosmetic items is the majority, and like quality of life items that help people in their transition through the game, right? But I wouldn't say that the actual story itself or Living World is something that is the majority of the income for the game. And the fact that they get one every like 4 months, one episode every 4 months, and there's no encouragement to carry on using that map or to do anything else in the game. If you deny World v World, PvP, all these different elements, raids, all this like other stuff that people can go and do, if you remove that by not developing it, people will not log in for like 4 months. So you will see this constant I don't know. That's what
they've started doing these events, and this I hate to say it, but do you know what generated the most logins they've probably had for months? It was the World Boss event.
I mean, I could believe that because it's free stuff.
No, but they also sold the World Boss thingy on the gem store as well at the same time. They sold that at a discount.
Imagine making an exclusive mount for PvP or like monthly ATs or something.
Yeah,
oh my god, that would be
I don't even have, the only mount I have is the basic one, which is the Jawgeous. That would be
that would be pretty funny to create.
Would be funny though, yeah, true. But off topic again, like I think they're just trying to like sap as much money as they can from just mounts and just like gem store purchases that they can before the game dies out. And the game's been out for like 7 years now, right? I don't think it's gonna last for that long now. Like the game is still fairly popular for an MMO, right? Like MMOs can last for a while because you can keep adding content to it. But I think after a while, people are just gonna get bored of it. Like I don't know.
I mean, it's sad because like I'm heavily invested in the game. I can't find anything else that actually gives me the same like combat system feeling, PvP feeling, MMO feeling that Guild Wars does. And I like that it doesn't force me to play, but at the same time, I still want something to do sometimes. I don't want to be stuck in this cycle of monotony, right? So it's like it's comfortable, but at the same time, it does get kind of tedious. And there's nothing else that enables you in that way. There's absolutely no way I'm trying ESO because the combat system is literal trash. Although it is somehow more popular because of Twitch drops. It's ridiculous. WoW is too time consuming. Classic might be good, but again, time consuming. Hard to sort of take in visually for people that are watching it. FFXIV been around for a long time as well, on a downward curve. New expansion coming out there. Maybe I'll try that. But you know, when you actually look at the MMO market, there's not that much. So it's like, do you just settle and do you just like accept that this is the fate of Guild Wars 2 and just like ride it until it literally breathes its last breath? Or like, at what point do people transition? At what point do people say that's enough? Like, that's enough casual for me, you know?
You know, I'm gonna have to disagree a little bit. I think Guild Wars 2 is probably never gonna die. It will go on for as long as they want it to. Because
you mean like Guild Wars 1 isn't dead because people still log into it?
No, I don't. I think that the current model for Guild Wars 2 with the living story is like borderline infinitely sustainable. Like, especially if they do an expansion pack. Like, it's Guild Wars 2 is the net that catches you after you drop off after every other MMORPG. They've positioned themselves kind of below all the other games, right? But that's really good because when people fall off, they just fall directly into the gem store, pretty much. You know, like the game is perfect at what it's supposed to do. And its current model is amazing. Like the you know, what we need to do is to convince ArenaNet that they shouldn't be below all the other games. They should be positioning themselves alongside, if not above, the other games as well. And people should be looking at Guild Wars and go like, dude, why am I playing this piece of shit game? Let's go play that one, right? As opposed to, like, your average Guild Wars 2 player comes to Guild Wars 2 by going, dude, this game is shit. Okay, I'm done with this. I'm gonna go play Guild Wars 2, right? But it should be, in a way, like, it needs to be a bit different. Right? It needs to be like, I'm looking for a game. I want to play a good game, and here's Guild Wars 2, right? Like, but not a lot of people actually reach it that way. Like, it's like people play Guild Wars 2 because they're fed up with everything else, right? Instead of thinking like, dude, Guild Wars 2 is an amazing game. I need to play this right now. And you know, I don't know. It's sad, but it's also true. And I think Guild Wars 2 is very sustainable like this, actually. Their population is pretty stable, and when they're able to generate a lot of revenue off mount skins, and they're finding different ways to monetize all the time. Now they have these like weird kind of monthly subscription thingies where it just gives you materials just for logging in. The game is playing itself for you at this point. Just, you know, you can just pay them, and it plays itself. And I think there'll be an expansion coming after this season as well, and that will just be that's some easy cash right there. More elite more elite specializations, dude. Okay.
Expansion would actually save PvP for like a longer duration as well.
Yeah,
because obviously, like you said, they can just keep PvE and whatever going on forever, right? They can just keep releasing content after content. But with PvP, eventually people are gonna get bored, right? So like playing the same specs over and over again for years to come. Fuck that, honestly.
Same mobs as well. Same
maps, same game mode, same everything. I'm done. But if they release an expansion, then that'll just last the game for like PvP for like another year or two. And then they can also release new maps, right? Like, I mean, they tried to, but the maps right now are kind of a bit garbage.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
Or rework.
We do need to steer it back to PvP. We had like a mild bout of depression there mid podcast, but let's go ahead and steer it back to the realm of the game. Yes. It's beautiful sunset. You know, let's go back to the game here a little bit, and you know, Boyce, you know, go ahead and tell us like what do you think is next for PvP? Like, what would you like to see for the development? Like, what is it? Do we need to see new maps?
What everyone wants. Of course, having new maps and stuff would be fun, right? You know, new maps you can play on, even new game modes, right? New gameplay, new content. The thing that everyone wants is a new expansion or just like rework of different skills, because after a while, playing the same classes with the same mechanics over and over again, it gets so tedious where you just don't want to play anymore. There's nothing to learn anymore, right? The people who've been playing the game for a long time are just bored now because they learn the mechanics, they know the map, they know the rotation, how to play the game. There's really nothing new, just the same old game, and it's just not fun for them. Like, if there's a new expansion,
weapons.
Even just add a new weapon down in, but like a new expansion, new weapons, new classes, people will have motive to learn and improve, right? Which will just increase people's motive to play the game, and it'll be fun because, you know, it's new stuff. Who doesn't want new stuff for a game?
It will switch up theory crafting for every game mode. Like it would give people incentive for everything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's actually my thought for what they might do with the next set of elite specializations. They might add a new weapon and give it to every class, right? So, we go to wherever we're going, right, for elite specs, and everyone gets the same weapon, right? And that means every single person has an incentive to craft that legendary weapon, right? That for the new weapon, like a spear, right? Like a new weapon type, right? Every single person wants to buy that shiny new skin in the gem store, right? That's easy right there. Great axe, exactly. Everyone's got a massive axe. Yeah,
Ritualist.
Yeah.
What do they bring that in? Dervish.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got other IP that they could bring into Guild Wars 2, right?
Just make underwater
the
weapon
idea exists
playable
already.
for land.
Imagine
give warriors
underwater
the-
weapon PvP map. Easy.
Fuck that.
There was one before, wasn't there? When the game
Yeah,
first came out?
Red of Capricorn used to be
And there was,
underwater.
like, sharks and stuff, right?
You
Oh
had
my
middle.
God.
You had middle node was underwater, and you actually had the boat. You could shoot the cannon
The
and
first
stuff on the
PvP
nodes.
map was also PvE. You could kill sharks.
Yeah, fucking Revenge of the Capricorn. Dude, when I said about this on stream like a couple of days ago. It's like, if they actually implement a underwater map for PvP, I will actually DC every single time that map is chosen, because there's no way that I'm playing underwater combat in PvP.
I don't think they'll do that.
Well, that's funny.
They'll have to
That's fun, though.
rework. They'll have to rework some of the weapons, because some of them are like extremely strong, right? Like Ranger downstate. Imagine trying to kill a
Oh my
Ranger
God.
underwater. That's
I
just
don't
not
even know
happening.
what it is.
Absolutely
That's
not.
why it would
Basically,
be fun.
it's a self-res, right? And there's not enough damage to really kill a Ranger underwater, so
Dude,
they're just gonna instantly self-res.
Wait until you face my thief underwater.
They-
I'd slay
Oh
him
my
instantly.
God. They
Imagine dagger storming underwater.
underwater is actually insane. Like when they reworked a lot of underwater abilities, they actually made them like busted OP. Like Necro is actually insane underwater.
Thief also does
yeah.
so much damage.
It's so insane underwater, actually. An expansion I think would be amazing, and for more reasons than just that. Because before Path of Fire came out, they actually did a bit of a pre-balance patch, right? Because this is actually, I love this. I like this so much. This makes me happy. Like, they nerfed all the Heart of Thorn specs because they thought the Path of Fire ones wouldn't be able to compete with them, right? Okay. Oh, little did they know, what they had unleashed with Path of Fire when that one came out. Like, oh yeah, it's like they had to nerf Heal Tempest because Firebrand wouldn't be good enough. It's like, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I remember the good old days when like Spellbreaker could just like 1v4 people.
Spellbreaker. It was so bugged. Revenge counter did like double damage, so like did AoE 10k, like phase, boom strip every like 6 seconds. It's like, this is fine.
That's good.
I
I
mean, all
miss-
POF specs did so much crazy stuff.
Yeah, like Scourge as well was fucking AIDS.
Firebrand, Holosmith, like everything. was just-
Minesweeper Holosmith was fucking busted.
No.
Literally
Conde
dodge
Mirage.
rolling on somebody and 3 mines on their face immediately. Like,
You could play the
instant
game
pop.
without a weapon.
Yeah, I jumped into a Holosmith and half of my HP was already gone. He didn't even do anything.
Just dodge for it.
Yeah, that's good. Feels good, man. Yeah,
I want that balance back.
I
POF.
think the best thing, certainly for world versus world and PvP, just would be that balance pack, right? To really freshen up the game and just nerf everything down significantly, right?
I mean, something that they can start touching is the amulets. If they're too afraid of actually going into every single class and do a big overhaul, at least start looking at the amulets and the amount of stats they give in PvP. Try to scale it down from there. It's a very quick fix.
But no, it's not though, because like every class has different scalings on different abilities. So like you could nerf, say, Mender's Amulet, for example.
I mean,
and
all
that would have
amulets then, basically.
Yeah, but if you nerf Mender's Amulet, which obviously is used by Firebrand, and then Firebrand healing is still like it's been nerfed, but it's still pretty substantial. And then you've got someone like Druid, which has like literal 0 healing after the Mender's Amulet nerf. Then you've kind of completely eliminated another source of sustain whilst providing something with a minimal nerf. They should be looking at the individual skill scalings with the amulets, in my opinion, not just flat out nerfing the amulet.
Or you
because
mean
can
like
have different...
make a Druid amulet, Firebrand amulet, or...
Well, no. Just like they need to go into the scalings of the skills. So like TeaTime discussed.
Oh,
this,
you
like,
mean
before. So,
you mean the the tweaking of the actual.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like you can have like how something scales with healing power versus how something scales with Condi power versus how something scales with power, like just flat power. And then all they do is adjust those, like 0.2, 0.3, whatever, and change those scalings. That's obviously more in depth, more time consumption, but would be more accurate. So
it would be a lot faster as well for them if they're afraid of touching everything else. At least at the beginning, you tone down the damage and then you tone down the healing creep, and then from there you start tweaking.
But even then, they still have to change the meta right now, or just change a bunch of stuff because the meta's been the same for months now. So
it's really hard to predict what would happen with that. But
yeah.
I mean, how do you prevent people from playing Revenant, Firebrand, and Scourge, and Spellbreaker?
I mean, I talked about this before. They have Revenant, for example. That needs to be toned down. Like Revenant does it raw, right? It's a damage dealer, and it has its counter, which is Condi. Obviously, Condi doesn't really matter right now, but obviously Scourge can counter, I guess, if Firebrand doesn't have support. But right now, the most overtuned skills, obviously Sword 5 and Shiro F2. Like, it's not really that hard to tune down Rev to make it balanced, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just has those two skills basically make it so it's over the top. It's just extra damage.
Deathstrike has no visual, right?
Deathstrike, it pretty much instant cast.
I mean, it's a port into...
It's a port. It does, like, if you're like a Necro, for example, you have light armor, it's going to be like 9,000 damage, then slow and chill, and then, you know, a Shiro F2, which is going to strip 3 boons AoE, plus it crits as well, and it's high damage, it's like 3 to 4k.
Might.
Yeah, Scales with Might, yeah. And it's like, for one, it shouldn't crit. It shouldn't do that much damage. The main role should just be the boon strip, right? That's the role of it. It shouldn't have 2 mechanics. It should just be
give
one.
The life leech after, which is fine as well.
Yeah.
Does the facet one do anything besides? It's boon uptime still, isn't it? The glint version of that.
Boon extension. It just
that's
boon
fine.
extension.
So, but that doesn't do any damage, does it?
No, but it's the Shiro one.
Yeah, Shiro one is the
so, like, that's what I mean. Like, so maybe the Shiro one just doesn't do damage; it just boon strips. Maybe that would be like a way of nerfing.
I mean, I think it should still do damage, but just tone it down like massively, right? And then make it so it doesn't crit, and then just have the 3 unblockable AoE boon strips, because that's what it's meant to do, right? Mr. Boon strip, you're a team fighter. It's good for the team fight. It shouldn't do a big amount of your damage as well. It's just so dumb.
Yeah, it's like making Steel being able to crit again. Like, imagine.
Yeah, same thing with Warrior, right? Warrior right now has a lot of dumb mechanics like Ball Charge and Rampage. Those are the most 2 unfun and non-interactive gameplay skills in the game.
Just remove the evade frame from Bull's Charge and it's fine.
I don't think they should though. I think with Bull Charge, you should keep the evade frame, but you tone down the damage massively and reduce the knockdown duration.
Oh, you mean that it actually does damage? I have never paid attention.
Yeah, Bull Charge does like fucking. It does so much damage when you have like Attacker, Insight, and Maya and Terror.
It's like old headbutt then.
Old headbutt. Yeah, it's pretty much old headbutt. Yeah, it's a really short cooldown as well, but it's a better version of headbutt.
Okay,
that's pretty much what
I
it is.
actually didn't think it did damage.
It's a long range headbutt.
And Rampage, the big boy, the Rampage maid.
Frenzy and Rampage together. Combine those 2 skills.
That is some juicy damage, which shouldn't be a thing. Because it's like, realistically, it's every 62 seconds if you use the whole duration. So every 60 seconds, you're basically on steroids. And that's pretty much enough time to like win a team fight, rotate back to your node, and then, you know, you go back to a team fight every minute and just win.
Get +1, sorry, but I 2v1'd you because...
Yeah, what's that? Oh, you're +1 me? I'm going to Rampage.
Yeah.
The boulder coming there from nowhere.
Well, it's the boulder, but you know, so you also see it uses a very, very potent disengage as well, right? Like even you know that it's. I think this is the problem that with, as you were talking about earlier, with Rev, right? With a lot of abilities having a lot of components. This goes all the way back to the Jawgeous Mirage video, actually, with like too much overloaded kit, right? Like, a lot of these abilities can be used in a huge amount of ways, and you don't have to make sacrifices, right, for doing some of this stuff, you know, with a lot of these abilities. Like Rampage and Bull's Charge are some good examples, right? Because you can like easily disengage, like you've got evade frames on that, and Rampage as well. Like it's really strong for mobility, and it also just it instantly destroys people as well. You know, there's nothing like just that rock just going round the corner and just destroying you. It's like
tracking.
Yeah, the rock following you.
I've had that happen so many times on stream. It's like one of my favorite things. But like the whole point of the Mirage video was just that there was skill bloat, right? And I'm not sure that there's like skill bloat in Warrior Kit. I think it's just that it's slightly overtuned. Like I wouldn't say it's bloated per se. Like Mirage Kit, like it literally removed fucking conditions, put you in stealth, did flat power damage, did like shitloads of conditions damage, also like blinded everybody around you, and then teleported you 1200 distance into the future so you could see what someone was going to do and counter them. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but that's kind of what it felt like every skill did. So I wouldn't say that Warrior is anything like that.
I also
Or
don't
it's
really.
still strategic.
I also don't really think Firebrand Scourge is that bad. It's just people don't really. It's an easy way out. Slap on a Firebrand Scourge. It's easy to play as well. You don't really need complex mechanics for playing that. It's just very like me and Zan were talking about it previously. Like I think it's just that we just haven't screamed. You know, teams don't scream. They don't really find like I'm 100% sure with like a very very mobile comp that Zan was playing that it's possible to beat Firebrand Scourge. It's just that it's no one is trying other comps out. You know, it's just
like,
easy.
I've not seen anything that would wait. So wait, was the last time that we saw a non-Firebrand Scourge win?
I don't know.
Was that like the second AT ever? Where they like?
You mean?
I'm trying to think when there was one where people ran like double Spellbreaker, but there was no Firebrand Scourge.
I think. I don't know.
Did they have Firebrand Scourge in that one? Does that mean that every single AT to date for the MATs has had a Firebrand Scourge in it?
No, first MAT was HOT. Second one was Firebrand Scourge. But yeah,
So, yeah,
I mean, there has been monthly ATs without Firebrand Scourge, I think.
Was that the one that Boyce won with?
No, the first one was us with Crown, and that was
That one was Crown, yeah. The second one was the
second one.
Second one is Moon, and that was us versus Blackjack.
That was our team, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because we had hybrid on Necro, and then it was me, Blackjack, Tyskin, and
so Boyce wasn't it?
Ionia, I think.
Yeah.
So it was the double Spellbreaker comp. So yeah, I guess they had the.
It's Bindo, yeah, of course, Bindo.
Yeah, but everyone played Firebrand Scourge. But I mean, yeah, I still don't think like I think it was possible, especially pre-nerf Portal from Mirage. It's just that no one dared to try it out. Like it's because no one practices.
Exactly.
You know, I'm 100% sure with pre-nerf Mirage with Portal, like double Mirage, 3 Mirage, Thief, Chrono pre-nerf. I'm entirely sure that you could have easily beaten Firebrand Scourge. Like it's
just the safe option, right? It's the easy way.
It's a safe option. You know that a lot of people can play it, so you can just build a comp around it. So it's.
Yeah. So I think it's not necessarily problematic, and I think one thing that could certainly alleviate the kind of the woes there would be like you could nerf Firebrand Scourge, but I think you'd then have to almost like redesign Necro. Like Necro is a class that just needs a support class to function correctly as it stands right now. Particularly with how much CC there is in Path of Fire, right? There's a lot of crowd control that goes about the place now, and without the Firebrand, the Scourge is kind of useless. And I think ArenaNet don't really want to get rid of the Necro or get rid of any particular professional. They want all of it to exist,
role, right?
I think if they would nerf Firebrand Scourge, I think you would see a lot of potential different comps though in the first monthly 80s. Yeah, it would definitely be different kind of comps that you could play and class stacking. You could probably see 2 holos. You could see, I think, a lot of different comps. It would shake up the meta.
Based around roles.
No, but it would I think it would shake up the meta completely if you removed Firebrand Scourge.
Yeah, right now the Firebrand Scourge is just like pretty much supporting the fact you can run double rev and they can just go ham and not worry. If you have a Necro, obviously counter cleaving or counter acting all the other skills, and obviously a Firebrand just supporting. It's like you can't really stop a double rev going ham on you with a Necro corrupting you plus a Firebrand supporting them. It's really difficult. And if they nerf the sustain and damage, then it's kind of like you have to like force a different kind of gameplay.
What if they made like Tempest so like strong, like as a support? Like,
but that's the wrong way to go, though. It'll
be the same thing then.
Yeah, it's not going to change anything. Yeah,
but if they brought Reaper up to the same capabilities in terms of like cleave and
they wouldn't. That's the thing that Reaper is just. How do you say it adds another complexity that I don't know if the community would be able to understand it, but with Shroud you cannot heal when he's in Shroud, for example, and that would just make it clunky, you know.
So counterintuitive.
So it would be a case of bringing Scourge and Firebrand both down simultaneously, and then seeing like how the.
I think Firebrand.
You would definitely, if you remove Firebrand and Scourge from the equation, you would definitely shake up the meta. Yes, you would see a lot of different comps the first few monthly ATs. No one would really know what to play, but I definitely think you would see. No one would play.
But how do you replace that? How do you replace
more mobile, more like duelists, more bruisers, you don't necessarily need like a full-out support, because there is no support that can compete with Firebrand. If you add a Tempest, it would just get slain by everything. Like it's not good enough. It cannot sustain the damage that exists right now.
Yeah.
So there's
Even
just
like
so much they would
before-
have to do.
And you
Yeah,
would
like
probably
before-
see scrappers. You would probably see a lot of holos, maybe more warriors as well. I think
Before they
definitely less
buffed-
revs, maybe. I actually don't know. It would be. That's what I mean. It would shake up the meta completely if you remove Firebrand Scourge.
A Tempest would be so bad now. Like before they buffed Sword offhand for Rev, like when we played the Moon monthly with Blackjack and it was on Tempest, like as soon as Flash is gone, you're fucked. Like you're pretty much dead because it's
I
just
mean,
a free kill after that.
he died by back then. Invulns didn't. I mean, he just melted.
Yeah, and then now there's double Rev with like crazy, well not double Rev, but even just one Rev with crazy amount of damage. It's like how do you survive that as a Tempest? It's like
And
it's really
doubles.
difficult.
Yeah, but you're saying Scourge now. We just said that if you remove Scourge and Firebrand from the equation, Mijo.
Well, if you nerf Firebrand, maybe it'll be okay to bring back another more defensive amulet, right? Like something like Cleric Amulet with some toughness on it, and then maybe the Tempest would be better off surviving in that particular instance. Like it already has the stronger protection. You could maybe make that even. You could maybe make that even stronger. There you go. Protection can be even better. Amazing.
Make it 50%.
50%, yeah. And then with Frost Aura, another
Unkillable.
10%. Oh, and you got Stone Hearts. You can't get crit. Oof. Nice.
You'll never die.
Never die. Just never die.
Why not just bring Minstrel into PvP again?
Minstrel. Oh, wow. Minstrel. We should just bring Bunker Chrono back. Like, just bring it all back.
Fuck the bunker
Yeah. Bring it all back.
Oh, dude, watching Scrapper, like, however long I had to watch it for, and like, I think there was one MAT where Ron was playing Scrapper, and all he did was like stack, stab, and knock people off node with a rifle 4. I could not. I was like, is this actually what fucking the MATs are going to be like for the next few months? I can't stand this. People are like, yeah, that's what Chrono was like before when it killed the ESL. I was like, all right. Like, so I can see why, because it's so fucking boring. If they bring that back, if they enable that again, it's going to be the worst. It literally will be the worst.
But also, if you like remove Firebrand Scourge and you add 2v2 again, I think it also could be interesting.
Oh yeah, more options to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Firebrand Scourge is certainly a bit of a roadblock for the.
I mean,
balance
it's the, how do you say? It's like the perfect example of how the game has gone from being complex to being dumbed down as hell. Like how Necro and a healer used to be able to have synergy between jumping into Shroud, jumping out of Shroud to get heals. You know, like that is completely gone now. You don't need. You don't have Shroud. Like you don't. It's just spam heal. Like
pressure buttons.
Exactly. You don't even look. Like before, how Necro used to be having a super good position, and then the damage would take a long time to ramp up, but really long sustained fights would favor the Necro. Now you look at the Scourge, and it's actually burst condi damage, which is like what? And you're immortal next to a Firebrand. Well, not immortal, but you get what I mean. It's not
game
even
mechanics is much more more useful to have back then. But now obviously it's not really the case.
If you want to keep Firebrand Scourge that it is, I think they definitely need to play more with Portal. Like I think removing Portal was such a or nerfing Portal as it how it used to be. It was a really, really bad thing to do like that. That's also another thing that you're just dumbing down the game. Like Portal was fine as it is, but maybe it was unfair of Mesmer only being the only one that has it. You know, could have looked at other
It's
classes.
more the fact that Mesmer was a really strong 1v1er, and the fact they could also take Portal on top of that. And then even if you can't win your 1v1, you just Portal and leave. But the thing about Portal, like I think 30 seconds is more of a skill gameplay because you have to actually think about what you're going to do with the Portal. Because when it's 60 seconds, a whole minute, you can just leave it there. And then you don't have to think about it.
Yeah, but that was the thing about good rotations, you know, that you could abuse. Like imagine now there's no way to counterplay Firebrand Scourge, as everyone says, right? It's because that's how you build. Like you're forced into taking big team fights or having a 1v1er on the side, but it just always ends in the favor of the Firebrand Scourge, right? And the only way to out-rotate that would be Portal. Like Portal would be...
I see what you mean, though. I can see 30 seconds being a little bit too harsh, but like, obviously it didn't need a nerf, but it was still like a dumb mechanic.
Yeah,
some
of course.
situations.
Like especially when Mesmer, they could just leave at will, etc. And like disengage. Oh, I'm under pressure of a portal. See ya. You know. I mean, but putting it into 30 seconds is kind of, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the complexity of the game has certainly been reduced with the Path of Fire specializations, I would say, in particular.
But it's not only that, but it's also their balancing, like how they approach balancing. It's like you remove the complex things and you you don't really add new complex things. That's kind of
just replace them with simple mechanics.
Yeah, with simple mechanics. I think that's
All
again
gyros, an example.
it's kind of part of their marketing strategy, I suppose, in a way, like to make the game a little bit more seemingly accessible mechanically to the broader player base, I suppose.
Do you think the gyro change was good?
No. I mean,
it's like gyros could be countered by killing them, right? Like you could cleave them out, right? Like during.
Yeah, I mean, it made more people want to play the game because it's new like content, right? But like at the same time, for PvP, I don't really think it helped the meta. It just made more of a boring bunker meta again. It's just like it was so dumb for the longest time.
But it's also, it removes complexity. You had a sneak gyro before you could kill, and you could actually get him to pressure him into getting revealed. Now you use a button and boom, you're 12 seconds stealth. See ya. You don't even know where the fuck I am. Like, bah.
Yeah.
It's just dumb.
Yeah. I think with sneak gyro it is a little bit ridiculous. I certainly find it a bit of an interesting change, right? It removes a lot of the flavor, in my opinion. Like you just now the gyros, there used to be these little robots, and now they're just it's just an AoE around.
Well,
you,
they're
right?
still little robots that hover over you,
but they're not actually
used.
they're not actually
It's just a
little
visual.
Yeah, it's just a visual, right? It's not.
Yeah.
They might as well not be there. Right? Before it was part of the mechanic, and now
just for the roleplay.
Yeah. Now it's. And I think that sucks, and that's Cinder's right. That's the general approach to the balance from ArenaNet is to kind of streamline stuff and homogenize everything. Like, and this this is of course a little bit different, but this is so true in the raid scene. It's unbelievable. Like if you look at how many unique mechanics classes have now before and compare that to like back in the day when raids came out, it's significantly reduced, right? Like the classes have been massively streamlined down and homogenized, right, as going through the balance of the game. Just in general, it's it feels pretty bad.
Something else that I also kind of removed from removing or like nerfing classes in the wrong way would be like DP Thief, for example. You had a lot of cool stuff you could do with stealth, like that. All these complex things has kind of just it's irrelevant now. Like look at how HOT used to be with MOAs. You would stealth up and you would get a good MOA spike, not only in the beginning of the game, but also you could do it in the middle of the game, end of the game. Or like just stealth engagements, in general, that those are completely gone. Or spikes together, it's just hammer your button and kill stuff. Like anyone can play that as long as you have understanding of where the damage comes from and know when to disengage. Then anyone can play this meta.
Sword Pistol Deadeye with Mercy and Binding Shadow. Like all you do is literally sword 2 on your target, double fucking Deadeye's mark, and then Binding Shadow them. They're on the floor, but they're chain CC'd anyway. Like there's so many sources of just daze and crowd control there, and you can kill somebody without even trying. Like you literally use like 2 buttons. I feel like the whole strategy is definitely like gone, and that's why like I don't even like playing Thief at the moment because of Sword Dagger. I used to love DP Thief. It's just all complexity is gone.
Yeah, like Sin said, all the high like skill players are just pretty much non-existent now. The skill ceiling is just gone down a shit ton. Everyone can just play the class at the the level it needs to be good, right? Like before, you could do some like mad players in the past with your class. You could there'll be a good like difference between a good Mirage and like a really good Mirage, right? But now it's like a good Rev and a really good Rev isn't that much of a difference. It's kind of the same sort of play style. Obviously, there is a difference, obviously player-wise, but I mean it's not as much of a difference as it should be.
Yeah, but it's a good example of SDP too. Like if you play like let's take the monthly AT as an example. If I would play a mirror comp, and we would go take a 4v4 or 5v5, like I don't feel like I'm doing anything specific by winning the team fight. Like I'm just spamming 3 on a target, like without thinking. It's so dumbed down, and then something dies. Okay, next thing dies, and then next thing dies, and then you won the map.
Yeah.
What did I do
Like,
good?
I'm waiting for Signet of Mercy to get so hard nerfed that like steal is irrelevant on a thief, and having a thief in your
yeah,
comp now.
they're gonna do it the reverse. They're gonna nerf steal so you can't interrupt them.
They already have on Deadeye, dude.
Yeah, but
Deadeye,
do it on Core Thief if I know correctly.
Oh, imagine, dude. Like you what will you do?
Yeah, well, I would
Just decap.
just decap.
He's gonna
for
play.
it.
He's gonna play Rev. He's gonna break out another Rev. It'll be fine. Well, okay, so this is perhaps a little bit of where we're starting to just waltz into the realms of fantasy. But do you think that some reworks to the design of specializations would be something good, right? To actually change the design of the classes. Instead of just playing with numbers, so what the distinction here is, like, instead of playing with numbers like, oh, Rampage now does half damage and has like a 20-second extra cooldown, right? Scourge does, the burning duration is down, it does less bleeding or whatever, right? Less corrupt. Do you think that actually the best approach to this would be to change the design, like reworking the design of these classes?
Yeah, actually, yeah. There's one class as well in particular which I really hate the mechanic for. Is Warrior's Full Counter. So that should be reactive gameplay, right? You should know that you should have an idea when to use it, right? To counterplay a skill, and you get rewarded for it. But right now, it's not really reactive play. It's like reactive based, right? You just walk into like a team fight, press that button, and just like, it's not as strong as it was now. But like, you don't really have to think about using it as a reactive skill as it should be, right?
How
It
do
should
you
be
know
like-
change that?
Well,
Like,
it could
should
be like how much you soak up the damage. Like, let's say if you soak up 4,000 damage, then you can get a second part of full count or whatever. Like, there's many
It
ways.
should be
you
some
can
sort of
play
like reflection damage base, right? Like you counter their skill and you put the damage back towards them. It shouldn't be like the full damage. Obviously, you have to like scat it down by numbers. But it shouldn't be like the way it is now. I really fucking hate it. It's so dumb.
So it would be an example of this would be, so it would be like if you have to use it on a specific attack, right? So for example, if you get hit by like a necro staff auto attack, well, you fling back a shitty, like pathetic damage thing. But say if you absorb like a rev a rev sword 5, then the rev gets wrecked by that. Is that's the sort of thing you'd be thinking of?
So you can
Sounds
like
good.
pretty much like stun them or daze them for a long duration, and obviously do damage to them, And like for like a warrior duel, for example, like mind games are obviously quite important, right? So like if a warrior would do arc and slice, you have to like reactively counterplay it, right? And then obviously they could fake it, and whatever. But like it should be like a better skill where like if you press it, you get nothing out of it, right? It just goes away and you just get fucked from it. But then obviously if you hit the full counter, you get a big like I don't know, you just get really like it should work in a way where it gets value from being used reactively instead of just like using it just to as a I don't know damage skill or just surviving.
What you're saying is you want to scale the output of the ability based on the engagement that you counter.
Yeah, pretty much. I just want to make it so it's used for counterplay.
then you can. If you go into an AoE, then Meteor Shower with full Zerk Ellie and you hit full counter, and then he will die in one shot.
Yeah,
like a limit. Obviously, it should still be melee range. Like it shouldn't be. It shouldn't like obviously like reflect a big missile back towards them. But I think it should like still be a melee range ability. Because right now, Warrior has a lot of mobility anyway. It just should be like a skill where obviously it makes you want to involve to damage. It's a block, whatever, and then you can just reflect that damage towards them, and then make it so it isn't just like it's going to be a big AoE damage where you just dodge and just press it randomly and you'll be fine. It's going to be a very short time frame, right? Like full counter right now is like it's a pretty long duration for the skill. It should be a shorter duration where you press it reactively instantly.
Yeah.
So it has a more higher skill gap to it.
Okay. And well, along those lines, then like we've been complaining a lot. We've a lot of complaining, but let's kind of narrow in the complaints here. Okay, for you guys, what are the most problematic classes in PvP right now? Like, what are the most like fucked balance examples in the game as it stands right now? Like
Currently Rev and
3 classes. Firebrand, Scourge, Rev.
Yeah.
I say Warrior right now. Actually, I think Warrior is really dumbed down right now. I'd say Revenant, Warrior, and Firebrand. You don't really need a Necro to make a good comp, right? You can like avoid the Necro.
I just dislike Scourge as well, like the design of Scourge itself. Like if you compare to the vanilla specs or Reaper.
Yeah, Revenant is retarded.
I just Rev and Firebrand, which is like the most meta, like impactful classes right now. Having a Rev and Firebrand is so much value. Yeah, Rampage obviously is dumb as well.
Rampage is just like getting it on a holo just like wins a duel. Like,
Just wins everything. Wins a team fight.
Yeah.
it's
Kills the
even
Necro in
stronger
like 2
on a
abilities.
warrior. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. You get peak performance, 10% damage. You're gonna have attack at insight. You're gonna have 25 might, tether if you have that as well. And then imagine having all that and then just like throwing a rock towards a necro. It's like a 12k crit, and then you just dash and it's like another 12k and a dead. Oh, this is fine.
Yeah. So for a lot of these problems, then the power level just needs to come down, right? You just need to reduce the overall effectiveness of the abilities. I think that would be fair to say. But I mean, for Firebrand, do you guys find the design of Firebrand to be okay, or does it need to be redesigned?
I think it's a bit spammy, but like as a class, I think it does the role it meant to do, right? I don't think it's like really overperforming massively. Like it doesn't really like do anything else but support and just be a good support, right? It doesn't have any crazy mobility. It's just there to support.
I mean, it does kind of have, like, with the 2 ports, Merciful and the Sword 2 port towards enemies.
Guess,
you can kite quite a lot, and combined
it's not like
with...
It's not like a crazy amount of
Scourge.
mobility.
No, of course not. But combined with the Scourge with Portal as well, you can be pretty mobile as a Firebrand. But
I mean, Firebrand isn't as strong as it was. They like,
yeah, of course it's nerfed, but it's still like... Yeah, but it's like... Let's say I would have played pre-nerf DP Thief and I would spike it. Like, it's laughable how much, how little damage it. No, I wouldn't have done anything. And the follow-up after that, it kind of negates a lot of power pressure because of the amount of Aegis it can proc. I think it should be like some internal cooldown on Aegis. That's one thing they could do. Like if a Firebrand had Aegis, make it like 5 to 10 seconds before it can get Aegis again. That could be one thing to increase the amount of power. Yeah, exactly, something like that. Then you could have, and the amount of stab it can spam out. Like there's like what you have 3 uses of your elite, and how many stab stacks can you get? F3 as well. Now, right? No, everyone still runs especially if you run with the Scourge.
The only person I've seen running it is Blackjack. Like with the double rev, people are running renewed focus.
Because, everyone that runs Firebrand Scourge. Yes. Every Firebrand Scourge that runs it with Signet needs to run
in every
elite.
daily AT, in every daily AT, I've seen renewed focus. So it's I suppose I should probably.
It's because they don't know what they're doing then. But every Firebrand Scourge with Signet of Mercy is obligated to run the elite stab. Like, that's also another thing. Like, you can spit out so much stab that it even if you have some sort of interrupt skills, you're never gonna get rid of the amount of stab stacks that you can proc. That's also like reduce the amount of stab you can get, and that could also be a good thing.
I mean, how much Aegis can you actually put out on Tome of Resolve? Tome of Courage.
I think no, but everything. I'm not that good with Firebrand, but they spam so much Aegis that it's actually crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have, especially if you run Mace Shield, right? It depends. If you run Sword, you obviously have a little bit less. You trade it for mobility, but if you have Mace Shield, you have a lot of Aegis, and you have the heal as well, right? And you have some on your Courage Tome as well. So there's a fair amount of spam there, a little bit of spam, on that. So, but the overall, like the design of Firebrand, I think we agree is pretty okay then. Right? I mean, so then it does come down to Scourge. Then, like, is Scourge the one that needs to have its design change then? Is that where it's
because it's the combo. It's the combination of the two. Like, it's not the Scourge's fault that Firebrand exists, and it's not the Firebrand's fault that Scourge exists. They have to create some way of, like, if they're both in the same game, like, that's not the fault of the players either. It's the fault of the class design. So, like, what do you do? Like, you don't want to nerf the only like real support that's in the game, and you don't want to ruin like team fight like synergy there, because that's obviously something you can use. But obviously, because it's been so prevalent for like 2 years, people are a bit sick of it. And I understand that, but at the same time, it's granted stability to something that has been rather weird and wishy-washy and volatile. Like, and I'm obviously referencing like the MATs, and you've literally got Scourge and Firebrand and like a side noder, and then like people have been swapping between like having 2 duelists and having 2 rotational damage dealers, or like say a Revenant and a Thief instead of just having a Revenant. So like it's been consistent, and there has been some theory crafting, but what do you do? How do you actually make them irrelevant to the point where you don't kill off both of them simultaneously and make other things more prevalent by making them stronger? Like,
well, in that case, I think what you want then to do is you want to bring in an alternative to Necro. Then I think then the problem does in a way lie with Necro, because as it stands right now, there's nothing that does the same role as a Scourge, right?
there's nothing that does the same amount of boon output as Firebrand does.
Well, yeah. So then you need alternatives, right? You need to have
that results in power creep. So unless you actually tackle the healing power, like the boon distribution on Firebrand, and at the same time reduce the amount of team fight damage that a Scourge brings, that won't happen. So it's another case of balance. It's not.
Well, okay, bring them both down, then add alternatives then, because I think with the way that Firebrand Scourge is, like they're both going to be played or they're both going to be useless. If you just nerf them too hard, then they're not going to be worth using at all. So I think that the key is just you can, in a way, you can kind of leave it as it is. I think Firebrand, I would say Firebrand is probably a little bit more mandatory than Scourge even. Like the Guardian, like the Scourge is not essential, I would say, at this point.
I think Scourge is optional when Rev is a thing right now.
Yeah. And
I don't know. I still think Scourge is just, I don't know. I feel like if you put the Rev with the Firebrand, then you can just go massive amount of damage and you would outscale them. I think a Scourge kind of just with the kiting and the node pressure at the same time kind of makes it impossible to really get rid of the Scourge as well.
Yeah. So I suppose then you just need to have something that would counter that in the team fight then, right? You need to have something that would win the team fight into that potentially, or at least something that can equal it, right? Because it depends, like, if you even want to have the concept of a support and a thing that needs a support. Like, this is something that happens in other games, like Overwatch, League. Like these games have this idea of the support and the class that needs to be supported, right? And as long, it depends if Guild Wars 2 wants that, right? Because as it stands right now, the only support that really does anything is Firebrand, right? And one of the only classes that needs to be carried is the Scourge. Now, I thought they were going to try and go this direction with Berserker in a way. They were trying to add like an alternative to Scourge, right? Berserker is not that good on its own, but if you get carried by a Firebrand, then you're a beast in the team fight, right? And I think Rev would be a really good contender for this, actually. Say a new elite specialization for Rev that was really focused on boon ripping and boon corrupting, but it needs to be carried by a support class. Like, then you can have an alternative there. Because I think why Firebrand and Scourge seems so annoying and obnoxious right now is because they're the only two things that do that, right? Like, there's no alternative to support and something that corrupts boons and is really annoying, right? Okay, you need to have an alternative to it that kind of does the same thing, right?
So what Naru's saying there is like, you don't want Scourge, but you want something that does what Scourge does. Like, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, as far as roles go, the PvP output has become very structured, right? So you always have that team fight, you always have that support, you always have that duelist, and you always have like, a swap of the last two. How do you actually like make changes in that role? How do you actually say, okay, well, we don't have a support at all, we don't have a team fight damage because we've changed the way the strategy works? Like, the strategy has been so consistent for 2 years, and if you say, for example, introduce a new expansion which gives you a secondary Scourge, which is called something completely different that obviously does the same job, as Naru says, you're replacing the Scourge with something that does the same thing. It's the same exact thing, just a different name, a different playstyle, or the same playstyle, different skills.
Well, yeah. Well, what's wrong with that though? Like, how many AD carries are there in League? How many support classes are there in League?
No, I know, but the role still exists. So like, you're not gaining anything because you're still encouraging the same method of play.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. I think that's fine. Yeah, that's not what I'm. That's not. I'm not saying we. I don't think it's. I actually don't think it would be healthy to disincentivize that kind of play. I think the idea of having you can play this like rotation comp, which I think Cindy even alluded to this earlier. Like, in theory, it would be possible to out-rotate it, like particularly with some of the older
anymore,
birds, right?
But yeah.
Yeah, but suppose you kind of revert some of these changes, that you increase the power of like the rotation classes, right, to out-rotate the Firebrand Scourge, out-rotate the support class with its thing that needs to get carried, like the carry class, if you will, like for the Scourge, right? And then you can bring in alternatives as well, right? I think why people don't like Firebrand Scourge is because like that's the kind of the only option for it, right? And if you have a different option, a different variant of this, like you can even kind of split it up a little bit, right? You could have, say, a class that isn't as useless on its own as Scourge, but it kind of does something fairly similar. It has anti-boon pressure, it has condition pressure in the fight or something like that, but it's also a bit more self-sustainable, right? So it's less reliant on being carried. Now, the trouble with Firebrand and Scourge is that they're both very polarizing, right? Like, Scourge is kind of a free kill if you, if it's on its own, but with the Firebrand, when it's getting carried by something, then it's really, really powerful, right? And, that's why I think that if you just have an alternative, then it's less obnoxious and it doesn't annoy people anymore so much.
I think they just completely, both Scourge and Firebrand just complete each other so well. Like there's no, it's such little punishment window. Like if you, like, unless you jump them 4v2, like it's so hard to punish them. Like you have Scourge that does incredible counter pressure to the enemies, even if he's getting focused. If you focus the Firebrand, then you get even more pressure and you get CC'd, you get weakness. Like they just combine each other so well. When the Scourge get focused, you get fuck tons of boons, heals. Like the Firebrand just stands there without any problem. And you cannot, it's like before when you had Shroud, it was at least a window where you could create some, like you had a lot longer possibility to actually do damage to them. And you're not taking counter pressure when you're actually pressuring the Reaper or the core Necro. Now the Scourge just, I mean, you can cast even if you're CC'd, you can still do the shade, like the F1 to F4, which is crazy.
Okay, so then perhaps Scourge does need to be redesigned a bit. Like, how about something like this? Like you make it so you can place the shade a bit more often. But your abilities don't cast around you anymore, only around the shade, right? And then maybe when you stand in the shade, you have some defensive advantage as well, or something like that, right? Like to compensate for not being able to counter pressure around yourself, or something like that, right? And then suddenly you don't have this problem where, you know, the Scourge is able to counter pressure around itself so effectively, right? Because I think that's kind of one of the big issues with Necro as it stands right now. Like the Firebrand Scourge can kind of hug each other, and the Scourge just presses all the buttons, and then you try and kill them, and then you die, right? You end up you're dead, right? And maybe changing the way it works with the shades, maybe making the shades killable or something like that, right? Maybe
I don't know about killable. That would kind of make them really bad, but yeah.
Well, would it be so bad if Scourge was just deleted from PvP though? This is a really sore topic for Arena. I know they hate to do this sort of thing, but I would be pretty happy if Scourge was deleted from War vs. Wild, for example.
I'm not sure that the class needs to be removed from like someone like World v World though. It's just balance. I don't think that Scourge would be as impactful in World v World if they changed it so that Scourge scaled differently in World v World, and maybe if they changed things like, oh, how many targets a shade can affect, or you know, if there's a target that's already affected by a shade, that it can't be affected by your shade, right? So if you stack shade, you can't stack conditions. I don't know the intricacies of how Scourge impacts World v World, but I would imagine that if there was multiple shades from multiple different Scourges, that targets would be eating this, like potentially 2 shades simultaneously, 2 sets of damage simultaneously. Is that correct?
Yeah, sure. Well, yeah. If you can't overlap. You cannot overlap your
Yeah.
shades, right? You would make it so that only one shade would be good, like in the entire
you've got
Zerg.
Scourge 1 and Scourge 2.
Yep.
Right. Each one uses a shade underneath the same target. The target receives damage from both shade sources.
Yeah, that's correct. That's how it would work right now.
Yeah. So if they made it so that, like, if you were already under the effect of a single shade, maybe then stacking of Scourges would not be as effective. Like they could make it so that they still counted as a target, so your placement of shades would be more important in terms of like condition spread, and not just being able to spam your output and affect, like, you know, essentially Condi burst down targets with the same shades.
Or just make them not be able to use the F1s or like the F skills on themselves, only on the actual shade.
That would also work.
Yeah. For World vs. World, though, I think that as long as Scourge... They tried it. In a way, they didn't do exactly what you said, but they nerfed Scourge extremely hard, right? They changed the cooldown of the shade from 10 seconds to 30 seconds, right? They reduced the damage loads. They got rid of some corrupt on it. They made it corrupt less. But it didn't actually do anything. Like, in my opinion, for World vs. World in particular, like, the design is inherently broken. Scourge, the way it's designed, just cannot exist in that game mode. It scales to absurdity in the game mode because of being able to do stuff like that at range, like ranged corrupts, any kind of ranged AoE damage is going to be inherently broken when you scale it up to 50 people, right? It's kind of ridiculous. No? But I don't know. It's an interesting one to talk about some of the design aspects of the game, guys.
It's more about, like I said before, it's the combination of the two. I wouldn't say that Scourge in itself is inherently broken until it's paired with the Firebrand, and I wouldn't say that Firebrand is necessarily broken until it's paired with Scourge, which brings like no domination in PvP. Obviously, those things are different in World v World as far as like skill scaling goes, because World v World is broken. But I don't think, like Scourges are still able to be 1v1. Obviously, they have like a lot of damage and stuff, and they have a lot of like kiting pressure. But
I mean, you don't need a Scourge to play Firebrand though. Like with Scourge, when you just play Scourge by itself, it's utterly like in the AT, it's utterly garbage. It doesn't really do anything. It just dies. But with Firebrand, you can just experiment with different comps anyway. Because Firebrand obviously still supports, and that's what it does. And with Scourge, it will do damage, but it will have no support, so it'll just die. Because there's so much damage right now anyway, so it won't really do anything.
For me, I'm just personally tired of seeing the same comp being played in the MATs over and over since the beginning of POF.
Yeah, it's the same two comps.
And that's like Firebrand Scourge is in every single comp, and to me that's just boring to see. I want them to shake up the meta, create something else. That's what I want. And the only way to really do that is to nerf either one of them.
Well, they have to change how they synergize, change how they benefit each other. Maybe make it so that the same target can't be on receiving of a certain amount of healing after a certain amount of time. Like the Firebrand can only do so much to one target or something, so that the Scourge is more susceptible to damage, and therefore, after a certain period of time, people go, "Wow, the Scourge just dies so fast; it's not even worth running anymore." Here's another composition. Like add diminishing returns to Firebrand healing. Maybe that would be sufficient enough to deny the duo.
Well, I don't know. If you do that, though, you just delete Scourge. I think what you want to do.
Well, not necessarily.
Yeah, I think Scourge. If you don't have the carry of the Firebrand, I think Scourge is worthless. It's like literally useless.
Not become like a side note duelist with some like tweaking or like take it to like
die instantly to a +1.
Yeah.
So I think what you want then perhaps is again kind of change the design of Necro in general, make it so Necro is a bit more self-sufficient, right? It can get about on its own a little bit better. Maybe give it some kind of, I don't know, some of like oh shit buttons, right? Like some other classes have, and then maybe tone down its boon corruption and its actual pressure, right? So it still has a presence in a team fight, but it doesn't need to be effectively carried, right? But then, on top of that, like I think Firebrand is more of the roadblock here. Ultimately, if you deleted Scourge from the game, you'd probably still see a lot of Firebrands played, because Firebrand doesn't just carry your Scourge; it carries the rest of your team as well, right?
Well, I have the best fix. The only way to actually fix this is to create new elite specializations that are better than this.
I agree.
Then we would shake up the meta.
Let's go.
I wouldn't mind dealing with some broken shit for a month or two until they fix it, because at least it will be a fun gameplay.
Dude,
right?
New content.
I'm actually inclined to agree. I think one of the best things that could happen for PvP and the entire game right now would actually be some new elite specializations to like properly shake things up, like nerf everything into oblivion and let's just have some new stuff, right? It can be busted, it can be fun. Let's go.
Who the fuck cares? It's new stuff, right? Like I don't think anyone would actually mind if it's like ridiculously broken. Because this is what people want, right? They just want
that might come during this season, right? Like that's what they said. Because the Living Worlds season content that's coming.
I would actually speculate that we might actually have elite specialization with the
also coming out with a new class would be really optimal.
Ooh.
That would also increase the meta.
Oh, dude, they can't have
potentials.
Then they're gonna have like an uneven number of armor weights, right? Oh, I can't do that. And look, dude, their character creation is so perfect. It's so perfect. Yeah, they're all 3 new classes. All right, let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah, that's good. Oh, yeah, and by the way, Naro in the chat, I completely agree with you. This is what I was, that's what I was debating with Joe. I just think that you agree with me as well, actually. You disagree with me, but now you agree with me. Fucking Naro, he's changed his mind. No, because I was saying that we just need some alternatives, right? Just have some team fight diversity, right? So different things that kind of do the same job, right? With a little bit of different spice, but things that kind of do the same thing. I said kill Necromancer. No, I didn't say kill it. I said have alternatives.
I mean, we did kind of have one, but that was quite some time ago. We countered Firebrand Scourge with doing Firebrand Chrono, the really pre-nerfed Chrono, the super tanky Chrono, and that actually was technically kind of killing the Firebrand Scourge, especially with the +1 from Thief. And then they brought down Chrono.
Those
so that
juicy
was
scepter threes.
It wasn't really. It wasn't really the scepter. It was actually the Disenchanter.
Oh yeah.
that
I stripped
that was
so many boons.
and
It's
yeah,
like 5
it's-
boons,
Five
right?
boons, yeah, it's
it
5
stripped.
boons.
It did so much damage, and it stripped boons. And then you had double gravity well, and you had tank, and you had blocks, and you had so much Condi cleanse, so you couldn't really get counter pressured by it. And then Rev was still in the pre buffed form, so to say. Like I feel like this version of Rev is probably the stronger version of Rev we've seen in a long time, especially with the redesign of Shiro and Sword Offhand. So yeah,
I don't know why they did that though. It's like why did they buff it?
and
really-
especially a class that is completely new, instead of looking at the old classes that have been being played since the beginning of the game, like revamp them instead.
If only.
Yeah.
Berserker.
Yeah, well, we do see that stuff, right?
Berserker, Pepper
Classes are
Hands.
slowly getting
Divine.
reworked. They are slowly getting reworked, for better or for
Not in a
worse,
good way, though.
right?
I wish they just reverted it. Like Berserker wouldn't even be like crazy strong right now. They completely reverted it.
Rework DH instead.
What?
They should obliterate DH
Yeah,
like they did with Daredevil, like fucking destroy it. Away with it.
But
In a minute, we're only gonna have like 6 classes we can
Dude,
fucking play.
DH is like the poor. It really is like the most abandoned spec, isn't it? Like, well, he got a buff though recently. They increased the range on True Shot, right, up to 1500. But yeah,
Oof,
oh,
big
dude,
buff.
poor DH. DH has been left out in the rain for a very long time.
DH
actually.
kind of had a potential, especially when we saw the rise of the Mesmers. DH has always kind of been really good versus Mesmers due to the traps. Yeah, after the nerfs, it's not that good anymore.
They'll just make it so True Shot can hit you anywhere on the map, right? Like you can just it has infinite range. As long as you have, oh, dude, imagine if as long as you have as long as you have line of sight, you can hit anywhere on the map. You can like snipe someone all the way across the map with
Actual trick shots.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be insane.
You see
Actually,
5 DH teams stacking.
True shot
sniping
gameplay.
people. Yeah, that would be high energy. Actually, yeah, that would be some good stuff.
Snipe them as they walk out of
DH.
base and stealth. Oof.
Yeah, just take Shadow Refuge and put all your DHs and stuff
Shadow
at the
Refuge.
beginning, and then just run in the middle, True Shot everybody, time it down. Yeah, easy. Spike comp, dude.
Oh, the spike comp, yeah, and that was.
I missed that shit.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that since
Yeah,
Hotbox.
yeah. What Spike?
Like-
I mean,
Loads of
yeah,
core
of
guards,
course.
and
I
mass
mean,
core guards.
well, not. I mean, I do miss like stealth engagement with burst, etc. Especially old DP with Chrono, Moa from stealth or something like that. Like, or even further back when you had to spike together to actually kill something. Now you just press sword 5 on Rev and people die.
And it just removed all the fun classes. Let's be real here. They removed DH, removed Berserker Warrior, removed the old Soul Beast, removed Daredevil, removed. I'm sure there's some other ones. Obviously, I guess Core Engine was fun, but that's who's gonna play Core Engine now, right?
Angels
It's
was
literally
playing
just fucking grenade memes.
grenade barrage. Yeah.
That's all
Like
it is.
grenade
like-
barrage.
The grenade,
unblockable.
yeah,
It's
grenade
stupid.
one shot, yeah, grenade barrage one shot with, well, you do it with Sneak Jar too. Some people play it with Scrapper, right? And you just stealth up on people and grenade barrage
Boom
them.
shakalaka in fucking platinum.
Try and
Plays
go
that
for
build and one-shots
the
you.
big
Ridiculous.
one shot, like the mega one shot. I don't know, it's fun. Yeah, Angels was playing core NG actually.
But it's kind of fun though. Like they say trade-offs, etc. Like what are the trade-off of the POF specs, like Firebrand or like Scourge? What are the trade-offs? Is it that Scourge doesn't have
Shroud? See,
yeah,
Doesn't
is
have
that
Shroud.
the trade-off? Like, I don't know if it's that much worse, honestly.
Well, yeah, the funny one is Firebrand, I would say. Right? Like, what's the trade-off on Firebrand? You even have a trait that gives you like, the passive permanently as well, right?
You're actually like on steroids compared to Core Guardian, Bunker Core Guardian.
the core guard virtues are so bad compared to like the elite spec virtues, right? Like, and this is true with Mesmer as well. Like the trade-off on Mesmer is like a really big meme. Like, it just adds something to the class instead of like removing anything. And to be fair though, like this is kind of what I was talking about. Like this is going to happen, and eventually they're going to do stuff. Like eventually they're going to make it so other classes have downsides as well. It's just that Thief has just been the first one. Like Thief's like, yeah, you know what,
Well,
Daredevil.
Druid as well, I guess.
Oh yeah,
but
Druid, yeah.
But Daredevil was the absolute
Druid,
like.
Pepe Hands.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also like, I don't know. It's like it's just completely the wrong way to go, in my opinion. Like, okay, I would be okay with it if the class was actually overperforming over like Core or POF or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. and this is sometimes why perhaps the conversations like these are kind of like it's pissing into the wind, really, because like it does seem that, and I am really not trying to talk shit here. I'm being deadly serious, looking you in the eyes, chat. Okay, ArenaNet actually balances around RP a fair bit, right? Like. It's a
He's right though. Like Mesmer, for an example, they didn't want to remove the evade, right? 'Cause it's like one of the class core mechanics, which just makes it a role playing material class.
I don't think they're ever gonna touch like core mechanics of
It's an elusive class, so they can't remove it.
Yeah. Seriously though, like, it's real. Like they balance around like the RP. They nerf druid, right? Because they want look, like because you're a druid, you don't spend you're petting the stars instead of petting your pet, right? It's like the pet is weaker now and more useless. If you play Daredevil, it's like you can you're so focused on melee, your arms are way shorter, so you can't steal on people. It's like it's like you're a berserker,
you're now a brawler, by the way.
Exactly, you're a brawler. Yeah, on berserker, like no, you're too angry to use your regular burst skills at this point. Like you've got to go full rage mode before you can do anything.
Angry, so like you lose defense just so mad.
You need to go
damage.
big mode.
Yeah.
Swipe is so bad. I just want to throw that in there. Swipe is like the worst. It's so bad. You don't realize how short 600 range is until you've actually played the class. It's so bad.
600 is a little bit unfortunate.
I feel so bad, like just looking at anybody play that class. I'm like, how do you
straight off kill the complete spec or like?
Yeah. They should bring it to like 900 or 1,000 or something. Like it's just 600 is just so bad.
With the thief
midway,
change,
like the middle
this is
900.
I don't know. I understand what they're trying to do, right? They want to make Daredevil play very differently to Thief and to the
but
other.
It cannot support it because of the lack of everything else.
Yeah. Like, don't you think that the actual the true course of action here is to make it better in some way.
And make it into a bruiser in that case.
Yeah.
But you need to do that at the same time as you do the trade-off. You can't just take the trade-off and then like, let's keep it as it is. Now it's good.
So I think that's the point, right? Daredevil is supposed to be almost like a 1v1 spec in a way, right? It's that's what they want it to be. And maybe we'll see some more balance in that direction, hopefully.
If they listen,
Yeah. And speaking of which, when do you guys think the next balance patch is coming, actually?
When was the last balance patch? Like the last proper balance patch where they change every single class? I cannot remember.
I cannot remember either. I only remember small tweaks. Actually.
Yeah, like I don't want to count small tweaks, like an actual balance patch where they
big like
everything.
Yeah. They call it like a big content patch or whatever.
I think it was towards the end of March, or it was either early March or late March.
What do you mean when patch is going to come? But okay, well that's so bad. We should get like at least once a month at least, like not like some crazy huge patch, but like
they made adjustments recently.
Yeah, there were a few tweaks. There was a fairly significant patch in April, wasn't there? Actually, like relatively significant.
But one that only would like PvP balance. That would be interesting.
Only PvP.
The thing I hate,
only PvP, not balancing in general. But that would
the thing I hate though, when they make these patches, it doesn't actually change the meta in any way. The meta still stays the same.
Yeah, it's not been tweaked. Like that's why people are also bored of playing the same thing. Like even if you nerf some classes here and there, it's still kind of the same kind of gameplay, kind of meta, the same like specs or weapon skills, utilities. It gets boring. Like imagine if you would revamp everything completely to be something completely new for a new season. It would create theory crafting, and that would generate interest for people, and it would be more hype. You would have more content to create. But
you're right, by the way. It was March 5th and then April 23rd. So that was the last. So April 23rd.
We should be due something then. With that understanding, right? It should be
Ben
coming
did
on soon.
He did say, like he said a while ago that he was planning on.
I think the next. That's what I heard. The next big PvP patch that comes, or the next PvP patch that comes, it will be balancing.
Yep.
The question is though, will it be before season starts? Probably not. But
when does the season start, or when should the
when
season?
I mean, that's when the next post comes about the new titles, etc. So
I guess when they announce
it shouldn't be impossible.
I think
2 weeks.
I would say that you'll probably get I don't know, maybe the balance patch. I would say say probably on the 25th is when I would guess, actually.
With the raid wing? Could be possible.
I suspect that the raid wing probably...
Didn't they say June?
Yeah,
For
June,
the
but I don't think it'll be. They'll do 25th. I also have vested interest. I actually said on stream that if it comes out on the 25th, I uninstall the game. So it needs to be the 11th here, and I think the raid will actually come out on the 11th. And I don't think they'll release the balance patch because this actually look, guys, tinfoil hat Illuminati. Look, prove me wrong and change my mind, guys. Okay, so next week. So from the 4th through the 11th, right? There is the boss event thing, like the meta event thing, and then bam, they drop that. They announce the raid on the 4th, and then easy. They hype everyone up with the world meta event, okay, world boss meta event, and then bam,
combine two
drop the
things
raid
at the same time. What? No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think
they lead into it. They lead
They
into
don't
it.
like doing that.
Yeah,
No, they cannot. It's like they have so little content already pushed out. They can't just dump everything in one.
But it works.
Like,
It works because then you've got the raid right on the 11th, and then boom, 2 weeks later. PvP balance patch. The season starts on the 18th or something, the week after the raid, and then bam, balance patch a week after that, just to like fuck with people. There you go.
They can't even afford the server bills anymore, so they can't have that many people playing the game at the same time.
It's free, okay? And it makes more sense with the open world integration with regards to the raid because there is going to be some open world content, right? This is something that I sort of didn't talk about, but they're trying to get more casual players excited in some of the other content, in this case, the raid. So what they're doing is there's going to be some kind of weird open world stuff going on with the new raid. So
like current events, kind of.
Yeah, current event kind of means that everyone gets excited about it. So there you go. Boom. Easy.
Imagine if you could kill each other in open world.
That would be
world PvP. Every man
They'll
for
never
himself.
do that.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that would be the funniest thing ever.
I mean, they could like make some duels, you know, like in ESO, for example, they have like a dueling mechanic where you can like duel another player.
That's
Could
like
be
some
fun,
basic.
but,
No, but didn't that happen in World vs. World once? That it was a bug that you could actually kill your own server.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
I wouldn't be that surprised. That's probably
Yeah, it
happened.
actually happened. I think that you could actually kill your own server players, whatever.
That probably has. I know
It does
that.
surprise me there's no dueling mechanic.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose you can kind of.
Yeah, that's also an easy thing to do. But it could
It's
be
a
so
mechanic.
cool. Yeah, dueling in the open world, creating content out of that. Look at these cool, look at World of Warcraft. How many cool places in PvE there are dueling in? Like it would showcase the whole world.
Yeah. No,
Some
it's
good
cool.
1v1 video content, you know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
yeah.
Look at this cool place. I'm dueling the best player here, and it's like you're doing some fancy jumping mechanics, like jumping puzzle. That would be cool.
Yeah.
that would
A
be cool.
certain
Yeah.
Dragon Hunter would probably enjoy that.
Or Scourge.
I mean, yeah,
Some say
Scourge.
he's a god.
Scourge's true strength is jumping
God
on
of
things.
DH.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
He likes dueling.
Happy number.
Maybe Cookie
Happy
would like to DH, dueling on DH.
What?
Who's Cookie?
Yeah.
Oh.
I want to see Ezeki. Okay, 1v1 happy number again, and then we can. Have
Oh,
Cookie do that as
we've
well.
all seen the video.
Oh yeah, you've seen the video.
Oh,
You've
did
seen
Happy?
Yeah.
I wanna see it. Did Happy
He's
no
exposing
win?
everyone now.
Oh,
Yeah.
He-
He exposed me.
Yeah. Oh, really? Wait, did you wait?
All the
Oh,
big boys.
yeah. I saw this one. Like,
Wait,
I mean,
did you not
yeah.
see the screenshot?
yeah. Wait.
I
The
can
screenshot.
read it. I can
Wait.
read what he said if you want
Yeah,
me to read it.
I've seen the video of him like slowly winning a 1v1, but then he loses the game like before he can.
no, he
the one
didn't
that
really
exposed it.
win. I think it was never ending. I think.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah. What's the? I want to give me the
Yeah,
details.
so I joined a PvP map.
Okay.
Jaw, you are such a meme. I said, stop using me for content, please. He says, stop talking about me. You still suck. Right?
Okay.
So then he says one more thing.
I mean, he's correct.
Oh, come
Wow.
on.
Ouch.
Right. He says, you know I wrecked you 1v1. No wonder all the pro gamers laugh about you. Get your own content instead of talking about others. Biggest YouTuber versus you. and just goes on like that, and I blocked him. So he's now started drama with me, with Izaki, with Cookie. I wonder who's next.
He has a video when he snipes me with DH.
Oh.
Wow.
Wait. Does he kill you
Did he
though?
win?
Does he kill you in the
Yeah,
true
he
shot?
kills me.
Holy shit.
I think he's better than you, dude.
But I mean, he has a video of when he's doing placements when I farm him on DP Thief, and he keeps saying how much he loves me.
Wait, what? What?
And he praises me. Yeah.
Oh, so like, yeah, he likes you then. So it's fine. It's not
maybe.
drama. Yeah, okay, that's good. Yeah.
And then that game, he snipes me with his Dragon Hunter or something.
Oh, dude, incredible.
Oh no, we've given him exposure.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I've only queued into him twice, I think, actually. I don't think he. Fortunately, I think I'm safe. I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows who I am, right? So it's good. I'm safe for now, anyway. How long?
It's coming for you.
How long will that last? Yeah. Let's see.
Wait, is this the video?
Is it?
Oh, it's 8
Wait.
8 seconds long.
Wait, dude, look at this! Like, whoa!
Just to make him smile.
Yeah.
That is
Chilling for happy no, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, is it recent as well?
That is a big snipe. Actually.
Recent, I mean, yeah.
That is a big snipe.
It happened this year, I mean, not like recent. Oh my god! What a player! he pressed 2 buttons.
Look at that snipe! Whoa, that's huge.
Why does it have 8? Why do people like it and comment like, "Wow, you're so good"?
It's well, I don't know. They just like this is God game.
Kind of, I guess so. God of the age.
Yeah. There you go. He is the God.
1v1 shooter. Oh my god! Look.
Yeah, 1v1 beast.
Big 1v1.
Biggest YouTuber.
The biggest 1v1 ever. Well, I'll tell you what, guys. I think we have exhausted the topics of today. Don't have anything else they want to bring up at the end of the show here? Otherwise, we'll wrap things up. Buff Thief.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring lead attacks.
Make crit steal. Make crit
Nerf Rampage.
Nerf Rampage. So Sin wants to buff his class. Boyce wants to nerf his class. Joel,
Yes,
what do you want?
I hate my class right now.
Do you just
Give
want
it a
to
scrapper, dude.
That's why I'm playing early.
delete Scrapper? Okay.
Well, nah, don't delete it. Just like get rid of Bullet Gyro. Rework Bullet Gyro.
Okay.
Get rid of that shit.
All right.
And it needs to work based on the people that are around the Scrapper, as opposed to just give them a flat barrier. That should work.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. I think in that case, guys, it is time to wrap up the show here. So let us learn. Okay, you've learned about PvP, but now it is time to learn of our wondrous guest. So new to the show, okay, represented by the Babyface. Okay, it is the God of Slayers. I should have put that as your name, actually. God damn it.
You should have, yeah.
Yeah, but it's Boyce. You've been streaming quite a lot recently. I mean, you love that unranked, right?
Yeah, I love the unranked memes.
Yeah, those unranked memes. So yeah, just tell us where we can find you on the internet.
Or if you type in Twitch, twitch.tv/Boyce, you can find my channel, and I do a lot of scuff streams. I promise you, it's good content.
Yep.
Warrior
He's
main,
also a
way,
monthly AT winner.
Oh yeah. Monthly winner, best of the best.
Best of the best. Warrior God. 1v2,
Yes.
man. 1v4 on Soul Beast back in the day.
Rocks people
Yeah,
really
Yeah.
hard.
Do you remember that? Like what? Yeah, that was good.
Good times.
Yeah,
Good times.
yeah, good times. Yeah, that was a good game actually. I remember.
That was a very Monka-esque game. Cannot lie.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like Fly with those beasts, man. Like holy
Fly
shit.
is a beast player. Yeah, he's a big beast player.
He is the slayer of all the beasts. But okay, so moving on. Okay, needs money. Okay, to raise a smaller thief coming up soon. Okay, subscribe now. It's Sindrener, also monthly AT winner, Tournament of Legends winner as well. Incredible. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Former pillar of community.
Ooh.
Now just a shadow. No. I play Thief, and I usually try to stream most tournaments as well. So yeah.
There you go. And Joe, how are you going to follow that? What's the... Yeah, they're the best players, but you're the best shill. I think we can kind of go for.
I've been stuck in Platinum for the last 2 years.
He's the best NG.
The best streamer NG, right? Much better than Angels.
I am a shill. I like to make money. Corsair, by the way. That's about it, dude. I got nothing. I'm so spent.
Wow.
I shill literally every stream. I don't want to shill now.
Okay.
I think I'd rather shill for you. Twitch Prime to TeaTime.
An excellent idea. All right, and then of course, it's me. I stream all the time. I'm in the same way that Jorah is hard stuck Platinum. I'm hard stuck in Guild Wars 2. So, you know, I stream every day until I, well, eventually rage quit and go and play something else, I guess. But yeah, follow the stream. We do tea time all the time. Experience the greatest minds in the Guild Wars 2 community here live on Twitch. Okay? But yeah, follow, subscribe, give me that money, guys. The sub button is right there in the top right. Give me that cash, then gift subs to everyone. You know, just go ahead and gift those subs. And of course, follow everyone here. Thank you to my wonderful guests for joining us today. Okay, of course, the bot has been posting links to their channels, and you can find that stuff below the stream as well. So, yeah, there you have it. Thank you guys for watching. Follow everyone. And yeah, give me that money. Mighty Cash Pot indeed. Let's go. Okay, give me that money. Give me those subs. Buy the game using my referral link. Okay, just go ahead and do that. Powered by ArenaNet. Not Corsair. Only Jaws powered by Corsair. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you later.